Ding. I noticed that the patient's consciousness was fluctuating violently. He is about to wake up. He is about to wake up. Awakening countdown .10.9.8. As the countdown sounded, the person lying in the treatment chamber frowned, and his eyeballs could be seen moving rapidly through his closed eyes. 2.1. The patient has awakened. Please leave the treatment chamber. Please leave the treatment chamber. Shi Anxin suddenly opened her eyes, but before she had time to check her surroundings, she was shocked by what she saw. At this moment, she was trapped in a transparent cover. Whose barrier is this? Wasn't she struck by lightning? Was she rescued? Shi Anxin subconsciously mobilized her spiritual power and wanted to get out. Hiss. Shi Anxin was horrified to find that she had no spiritual power left. Then a huge memory hit her brain, causing her to have a splitting headache. Beep, we found abnormalities in the patient's head nerves. We are scanning. We are scanning. We are. The voice she had just heard came to her ears again. Shi Anxin endured the severe pain and quickly mobilized her spiritual sense to sort out the memories she was forced to receive. Huh. This is really not a human thing to do. Shi Anxin took a deep breath. At this moment, she already knew her current situation. Please leave. The sound of the treatment chamber sounded again. Shi Anxin raised his head in annoyance and clicked the symbol that appeared in front of him, and then the transparent cover in front of him opened. Shi Anxin stood up and left the treatment room, but her physical weakness almost made her kneel down. Holding her breath, Shi Anxin slowly moved to a chair beside her and then looked around. Looking at the unfamiliar environment in front of her and thinking about her own experiences, Shi Anxin couldn't help but feel a toothache. She was originally a disciple of the Kangwu sect in the world of cultivation. Due to her mixed roots of the 5 elements, she was not selected as an inner disciple. She was a marginal figure in the sect. She did not have any special talents, so she used unconventional means, and worked hard to make up for it. In order to survive, Shi Anxin used her 5 spiritual roots to the extreme. Although her cultivation was not high, she attended all the classes of her senior brothers and sisters and used her gold and fire spiritual roots to make some small daggers, swords, and so on, which she sold at the market. She used the spiritual roots of earth, wood, and water to grow some spiritual plants needed to refine fasting pills, foundation-building pills, etc. She sold them to her senior brothers who made pills, and also planted some spiritual vegetables and rice. Anyway, as long as someone needed it, she would do her best to provide it. In order to make money, she practiced her limited skills to perfection. The swords she made were not only beautiful in style, but also of good quality. The spiritual plants and vegetables she planted not only grew well and were rich in spiritual energy, but also produced excellent pills. Therefore, even though she is a marginal figure in the sect, she earns a lot of money. She is planning to earn enough money and then find a place that suits her to retire. However, unexpectedly, in order to deliver the goods on time, she took a shortcut through a remote mountain road the day before. Just then she met an elder who was suddenly undergoing a tribulation, and then she was so unlucky to be struck by the tribulation lightning. And then she was so unlucky to be struck by lightning and sent to this interstellar world in an unknown era. It's so unlucky that it possessed this unlucky little guy. Yes, it's this little unlucky guy. Shi Anxin thought about the memory he had just received. The original owner is now also called Shi Anxin. Oh, this is the name she changed 3 days ago. Her previous name was Lin Anxin. Recalling the original owner's experience, Shi Anxin once again mourned for the original owner, who was so unlucky. There was no other reason. It was just that when the original owner was just born, a riot occurred due to the appearance of a queen insect nest on the planet. In the panic, the original owner was taken away by mistake. It's very cliché, but this is the situation. Shi Anxin shook his head and sighed. The original owner's biological parents had prominent family backgrounds. If the original owner had not been taken away by mistake, she would have been a little princess of the family and grown up in pampering. According to today's technology, when everything calmed down and the original owner's parents returned home, they discovered that they had taken the wrong child and immediately mobilized a large number of manpower to find the original owner. However, the situation was chaotic at the time, and many people were sent to various planets without registering their information. The original owner's adoptive parents were poor, so they settled directly on a barren planet. Also, because of their poverty, they never did a genetic checkup for their child. Because the Federation provides free education up to high school, the original owner was able to graduate from high school successfully and then be admitted to a university in the capital planet. It was also for this reason that the original owner was discovered by his biological parents first. He was about to find his biological parents and his life would change, but something happened on the way to the capital planet. The starship was attacked by a suddenly appearing mutated star beast. Although the original owner was protected, he could not escape. When the original owner's eldest brother rushed there, the original owner was already dying. After soaking in the treatment chamber for 3 days, the original owner finally didn't make it, and then Shi Anxin inexplicably and seamlessly came into the original owner's body. Shi Anxin looked inside her body and did not find any trace of the original owner's soul. Instead, she found that her soul had now perfectly matched with the original owner's. If someone didn't know, they would think she was the original owner. Shi Anxin silently recited a mantra for rebirth. She didn't know where the original owner's soul had gone, but she still hoped that the original owner could be reborn into a good family in the next life. From then on, her Shi Anxin in the world of cultivation would be the Shi Anxin in the interstellar world. Click, the door was pushed open, and a tall and straight figure appeared before his eyes. Shi Anxin raised her head and squinted at the person who came in. A glimmer flashed in her eyes, and she admired what a handsome young man he was. "You daughter awake?" Shi Anxin looked at his sister sitting on the chair in surprise. After 3 days of treatment, the doctor gave the final diagnosis. The condition of this sister, who he had not yet recognized, was probably not going to get better. He had already contacted her family and prepared to have them come to see her for the last time. Now, it was quite sudden to see my sister leave the treatment chamber as if nothing had happened and still sitting on the chair. Fortunately, Shi Anxin had a strong ability to accept things. Looking at his sister, whose face was still a little pale, he raised his hand and immediately asked the doctor to come over. Soon a group of doctors and nurses came. When they saw Shi Anxin, they all showed expressions of astonishment, and then immediately took Shi Anxin for a full-body examination. "Hey, your sister is so lucky." Lin, she nudged his friend next to him with his elbow. Shi Anxin looked at his sister, who was undergoing a physical examination in the room, with a serious expression and said nothing. Lin, she was already used to her friend's silence, so she continued. "Now that this sister is back, what about that sister? I remember your sister seemed to have been admitted to the first university in the capital star and applied for the Mecha Individual Soldier Department." Lin, she thought for a while, looking at the skinny little girl inside. "Is this sister also in the same university? And what department is she applying for? It shouldn't be Mecha Individual Soldiers. What will happen if these two meet? Will that sister and this sister become enemies? And this sister? No brainer. No brainer. No brainer. Please don't use your brain when watching this movie. This is a light-hearted article, without any open or covert fighting or intrigue. Readers who don't like it, please leave in a civilized manner. Friendly reminder from the author. Novels are fictional. Please treat them as a decompression tool in the real world, a food-eating tool. Do whatever you need to do after reading, study, do homework, work hard, and take care of your kids. Put your kids in good care before reading summary. Please use civilized language. Please leave immediately if you don't like it. And please use civilized language if you have suggestions. Don't curse, it's annoying. The author wants to keep a happy mood while writing and doesn't want to get hyperplastic nodules. Shi Anxin glanced coldly at the person who was talking non-stop, hearing the person calling him sister all the time. He clenched his fists, resisted the urge to attack his friend, and said in a deep voice, "Shut up." Adato Lin, she saw his friend's fist and shut up decisively. "Major, we have checked her. In addition to her own malnutrition, the injuries caused by the Star Beast's mental attack have all healed themselves due to her mental power awakening again. Now her mental power has exceeded A+. It's a blessing in disguise." The doctor handed the examination report to Shi Anxin. Shi Anxin quickly glanced through it and felt relieved when he found that there was no major problem. "Our sister is amazing. Her mental power has awakened again. I just don't know if it can grow further." Lin, she stretched his head to look at the report in his friend's hand and felt relieved. In the past, there were many examples of people who had awakened their mental power after being attacked by star beasts. People who were on the verge of death relied on their strong willpower to awaken their mental power again. After awakening, not only did their injuries improve, but their mental power also skyrocketed. Shi Anxin watched curiously as the doctors fiddled with various instruments. After they finished examining her body, she was congratulated, and then they all left. "Anxin, you should take a rest first. The starship will soon arrive at the capital planet, and we will be home soon," Shi Anxin said stiffly. "Oh, okay." Shi Anxin nodded. Suddenly, the two fell silent. Lin Shi stood at the door and leaned forward, unable to hold back a smile on her face. "Sister, this is your big brother. You kiss your big brother Shi Anxin. Don't be afraid." Hearing this, Shi Anxin looked up again in surprise at the person in front of him. It turned out that this person was the original owner's biological elder brother. Shi Anxin's face was a little dark. He forgot to introduce himself to his sister. "Well, yes, I am your elder brother. If you need anything, you can tell me and add my star." Then he turned on his light brain. Shi Anxin looked curiously at the thing on her eldest brother's wrist. In her memory, this thing was called an optical computer. It had many advanced functions, but unfortunately, she had no money in the first 18 years. Her adoptive parents accidentally died while working in a mine when she was 14 years old. She carefully saved the money from the government compensation to prepare for college. Of course, when she was admitted to Capital Star University, the government gave her an optical computer, a super simple version. Before she had time to study it, she was found and brought back by the Shi family. She was very nervous on the way and had no time to study the optical computer. In this star beast attack, the optical brain that had not yet been studied died heroically. Shi Anxin raised her hand, looked at her empty wrist, and looked up. "It's gone." Then, her eyes glanced at her eldest brother's computer, which seemed to be very expensive and exquisite, with envy. Shi Anxin looked at his sister's thin wrists and envious eyes, and his heart ached. He forgot that his sister's previous living conditions made it impossible for her to buy a laptop. "I'll have someone send it to you, and buy you the style you like when I get home." As he said that, Shi Anxin asked his contact to send him a laptop. "Hey, what a coincidence. I have a newly bought and used optical computer. Let my sister use it." Lin Shi quickly took out a new silver optical computer. Shi Anxin looked at her eldest brother, and after seeing him nod, Shi Anxin took it. "Thank you, Dada." Shi Anxin turned her head to look at her eldest brother. Shi Anxin immediately understood what his sister meant. "His name is Lin Shi. He's in the same legion as me. You can call him brother." Lin Shi quickly interrupted and said with a smile, "I am the same age as your eldest brother. We have been friends since childhood. It is not too much for you to call me brother." Shi Anxin nodded and called out honestly, "Brother Lin Shi." "Hey Lin," she agreed with gritted teeth. The younger sister of the Shi family had never called him brother before. She always had a cold face when they met, but she was still so obedient. Before Shi Anxin even heard his sister calling him brother, his good friend took the lead. His face became even more gloomy, and he stared at his friend unhappily. Lin Shi ignored his friend's coldness and enthusiastically taught Shi Anxin how to use the computer. Soon, Shi Anxin understood how to use this optical computer and exclaimed in her heart, it was indeed the high-tech interstellar age. Such a small thing actually contained so many functions. It was much more exciting than the cultivation world she was in before. Gurgle. Suddenly, the sound of a growling stomach interrupted the three of them. Shi Anxin then realized that she was hungry and looked up at her eldest brother. Shi Anxin's forehead twitched. He understood what his sister meant. He pressed his tongue against his teeth and snorted coldly, "Call me brother," and then called out big brother obediently. She was the kind of person who believed whoever gave her milk was her mother, and it wouldn't hurt to call him big brother. She had never called him big brother before because this big brother had never smiled since he saw her. Although he was handsome, he couldn't even smile when facing his own sister whom she hadn't seen for many years, which meant that he was not easy to get along with. She didn't know whether he would be happy if she rashly called him big brother or not, so she simply didn't call him that. When Shi Anxin heard his sister finally call him big brother, the heat on his face eased. He took out a bottle of high-grade nutrient solution from the space button and handed it to Shi Anxin. Drink this first, and then we'll have something delicious when we get home. Shi Anxin took it, opened it, and smelled it. It smelled pleasant. She knew it. In her memory, it was called nutrient solution. It was not only good for hunger, but also good for the body. She had drunk it once before, but the taste didn't seem to be very good. This one was obviously better than what she remembered. Right. Shi Anxin finished the drink in one gulp and smacked her lips to savor the taste. It had a light sweet taste, which was not bad, better than the Bigu pills. The light computer made a ding sound. Shi Anxin looked down at the message on it and looked at his elder brother in confusion. Shi Anxin looked at his sister with a soft gaze. I transferred some pocket money to you. Buy whatever you want. If you don't have more, I'll transfer more to you. Thank you, big brother. Shi Anxin's eyes lit up. Money. She loved it the most. After counting carefully, it turned out to be 6 figures. Shi Anxin decided to give up the idea that Big Brother was difficult to get along with, and decided that she would hold Big Brother's thigh in the future. Seeing his sister's smiling face, Shi Anxin also felt happy. After telling his sister to rest, Shi Anxin took Lin Shi away. After staying on the starship for 2 days, Shi Anxin studied the optical computer and learned about this advanced era through it. Shi Anxin's greatest strength is her ability to take things as they come. Over the past 2 days, after hearing from her eldest brother, she has gained a general understanding of the Shi family's situation. The Shi family has an extraordinary status in the Federation, which is also the accumulation of military achievements of generations of the Shi family. However, the original owner's father suffered a mental collapse on the battlefield 5 years ago, and now he has become a vegetable and has been staying in a sanatorium. The original owner's mother worked in a medical research institute, but has now quit her job to stay with her husband. The original owner had 4 older brothers. The eldest brother, Shi Anfeng, is now a major in the 1st Legion of the Capital Star. The second brother, Shi Anyu, is keen on various weapons research and works at the Federal Weapons Research Institute. The third brother, Shi Anlei, was appointed to work in the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The fourth brother, Shi Anxin, has just been admitted to the 7th Legion. He is not on the capital planet, but on standby on S01 planet. There is also an older sister, who is the girl who was taken away by mistake. The Shi family did not abandon that girl, but kept her at home and raised her. Shi Anxin, who is half a month older than Shi Anxin and also 18 years old, was also admitted to Capital Star University this year, but she applied for the Mecha Individual Soldier Department. As for Shi Anxin, she applied for the Department of Botany because there were very few applicants for that department. In addition, she had poor physical fitness and was eager to leave the Wasteland Star, so she chose the Department of Botany. Fortunately, she was successfully admitted. The plant system is exactly what I want, but my spiritual power. Shi Anxin felt heartbroken when she thought of her empty spiritual power. I worked so hard to cultivate to the foundation building stage in the world of cultivation, but it's all gone just like that. I'm so heartbroken. Shi Anxin continued to meditate without giving up. She just didn't believe that there was no spiritual energy in this world. Suddenly, Shi Anxin felt a large amount of spiritual energy approaching from a distance. Swish! Shi Anxin quickly stood up and ran towards the spiritual energy with shining eyes. Buzz, buzz, attention, attention. A star beast is approaching. Attention, attention. Shi Anxin had just opened the door when the entire starship issued a shrill warning sound. Star beast? Shi Anxin wondered why a star beast was attacking at this time. After 2 days of popular science, she learned about the greatest enemy of mankind in this era, star beasts, which are similar to the monsters in the world of immortal cultivation. Ding! The eldest brother called, and Shi Anxin answered it immediately. Anan, stay in the room and don't come out. Remember what I said yesterday. If you encounter danger, take shelter in the cabin immediately. It will take you home. Remember? Hearing the sound of his elder brother panting slightly and the sound of the team being organized next to him, Shi Anxin immediately agreed. I'll remember, elder brother. Don't worry about me. You guys should be careful too. Shi Anfeng gave his sister a few more instructions, then hung up the phone and immediately gave instructions. Major, The scouts just reported that this is a devourer. It came through the wormhole in the left front and is in its infancy. After receiving the information, Shi Anxin calmly looked at the image sent by the scout. Teams 1 and 2 will surround and besiege. Teams 3 and 4 will attack from the front and back, and Team 5 will seize the opportunity to kill. Receive. Spiritual energy. Where is the spiritual energy? Shi Anxin carefully felt the spiritual energy that was sometimes strong and sometimes weak. After walking carefully for most of the starship, she still couldn't find the spiritual energy. It wasn't in the starship, so Shi Anxin looked up outside. In the dark universe, not far away was the scene of soldiers killing star beasts. Shi Anxin had a guess in her mind. Gradually, as the star beast was killed in the universe, the spiritual power instantly dispersed. Shi Anxin finally knew what the spiritual energy was. It was the star beast. Without time to think about it, Shi Anxin quickly sat down cross-legged, trying hard to absorb the spiritual energy floating around. Hey, what is this little girl doing sitting here? Is she asleep? The soldiers who came back from killing the star beast saw Shi Anxin sitting cross-legged in the corner with her eyes closed. They didn't know what she was doing, but they inexplicably felt that they couldn't disturb her. Since everyone was in a hurry to return to the team to report the battle situation, no one paid attention to Shi Anxin. Anyway, there was no danger now, so she could sit anywhere. As the soldiers passed by Shi Anxin became more excited. They carried a lot of spiritual energy, and it was even purer. This was the moment when the star beast died. When the spiritual energy dissipated, it touched the soldiers closest to the star beast. Shi Anxin absorbed it quickly, and her dry dantian was slowly moistened. The spiritual energy flowed along the meridians and gradually transformed into spiritual power. A familiar feeling came. After absorbing the last bit of spiritual energy, Shi Anxin happily opened her eyes. At this time, Shi Anxin had changed from her previous pale face and thin body. The whole person was nourished by the spiritual energy. Although it was not much, the previous loss in her body was repaired. The whole person looks radiant, his skin has become whiter, and he is full of energy. And then, after Shi Anxin finished his work, he heard his subordinate say that his sister was here. So he rushed over immediately. Didn't I tell you to stay in the room? Why are you here? The moment Shi Anxin saw her elder brother, she felt a little guilty and quickly put on a flattering smile. I want to see how to kill the star beast, learn from it. You are a plant major. You don't need to learn these. Anin was unhappy when he heard this, brother. It is better to rely on yourself than on others. Not only will we have to face star beasts, but we may also encounter other dangers. I can't be protected forever, and I won't be lucky forever. Just like in her previous life, she was hiding here and there, but was still struck to death by lightning. Who knows what will happen in the next second? This is not something that humans can control. Hearing what his sister said, Shi Anxin agreed in his heart, but facing a sister who had suffered since childhood, he could not train her as ruthlessly as his other brothers and sisters. After all, they owed her too much. If it weren't for their negligence, my sister wouldn't have been taken away by mistake, and she wouldn't have suffered so much. But seeing his sister's firm and disapproving look, Shi Anxin said, I hope you can be safe and sound. You can do whatever you want as long as you are happy and safe. Hearing her elder brother's words, Shi Anxin was stunned for a moment, and a warm feeling flowed through her heart. She was an orphan in the world of cultivation, and no one had ever told her you can do whatever you want, or as long as you are happy and safe. She used to envy her fellow brothers and sisters in the sect who could receive packages from home every year, which meant that someone was thinking about them. She had nothing and could only work hard to make money for a living and try to make her life better. Only money can make her feel at ease. Shi Anxin was silent for a moment, looked up at his eldest brother. Thank you, eldest brother. I understand. I still have things to do. I'll go back to my room first. After that, he quickly left. She didn't know how to respond and could only run away. Seeing his sister leaving quickly, Shi Anxin sighed. He knew it would be difficult for his sister to accept them all at once, but there would be plenty of opportunities in the future, so he could just take it slow. Shi Anxin lowered his head and sent what had just happened to the family group. Shi, no way, big brother. You scared your sister away? Ha ha ha. Shi, When I said I was going to pick up my sister, you guys insisted on sending someone over right away. It's strange that my sister would recognize you. Shi Anxin looked at the fourth brother's provocative words and thought that he would have to arrange some more training for him next time the fourth brother came home. The third brother. It's understandable that my sister can't accept it for the time being. When my sister comes home, I'll pamper her well, and she will slowly accept it. Don't be sad, big brother. Shi's mother. Big brother, don't be so cold. You can't let Xiao-san take a leave to pick up an in. Are you scaring an in? The third child. Mom, please, don't call me Xiao-san. Please. Shi's mother. Have all the things I bought for an in arrived home? Where's the second child? I asked him to put the things in an Anne's room. Did he do that? The third child. The second child probably stayed up all night at the research institute again. He probably didn't go home. I sent a message to Shi Xiaoxiao and asked her to clean up. Shi's mother. Okay, boss, how long will it take for you guys to arrive? I can make arrangements for your dad to go there. Shi Anxin then replied, we will arrive at the capital planet around 7 o'clock the day after tomorrow morning. Shi's mother. Okay, I'll ask the nurse to take care of your dad for a while, and I'll come back after picking up an Shi's mother. By the way, where's Shi Anxin? Hasn't the training finished yet? Mom also bought a lot of things for you. Remember to receive them when you get home. The fourth child. Shi Anxin works too hard. She finally has a holiday, but she still goes to the training camp. TSK. She won't know how hard life is at Capital Star's #1 university until they start school. The third brother. If anyone is like you, who doesn't want to make progress, you are a poor wretch. Don't even mention that you are our family. It's shameful. The fourth brother. How am I embarrassed? Who knew that the assessment of the 7th Legion this year would be so difficult? Capital Star Shi Anxin quietly looked at the messages in the family group, not knowing what she was thinking. She had known about Shi Anxin's existence since she was a child, and she also knew that she was taken away by mistake. She was very grateful to the Shi family for raising her. Now that Anin was back, she didn't know whether Anin would accept her. After all, she had enjoyed the life that should have been in Anne's. Shi Anxin, it's rare to see you rest. I don't know why you train so hard all day. You're a girl, but you work harder than boys. You finally have a day off. Don't you want to have fun? It's a pity that I have to come to this miserable training camp. Lin Jinma rubbed the bruises on his face distressfully. They are too cruel. They told me not to hit my face, but they only hit my face. His Shi Anxin. Look at me and see if I've become ugly. Lin Jinma put his face in front of Shi Anxin and said with a grin, if I become ugly, you can't despise me. I came here for you. Shi Anxin's tangled heart was interrupted by Lin Jinma. She looked at the baby-faced boy in front of her with disgust, but after seeing the bruises on his face, her expression turned cold and she asked, who hit you? Lin Jinma calmed down when he saw this, feeling relieved, and immediately said with a smile, it's okay. I will fight back myself tomorrow. Today was an accident. Shi Anxin looked at the glaring bruise on Lin Jinma's face, stood up suddenly, and walked towards the training ground, feeling cold all over. Lin Jinma quickly stood up and stopped Shi Anxin. Shi Anxin, don't go. I will take revenge myself tomorrow. Shi Anxin ignored Lin Jinma and just kept walking forward. Lin Jinma couldn't stop her. However, if Lin Jinma didn't have that smug and arrogant smile on his face, what he said would still be somewhat credible. Here, Shi Anxin and his companions finally arrived at the capital planet. As soon as they got off the starship, before Shi Anxin had a close look at the planet, they were hugged tightly by a soft and gentle embrace. Anin, my Anin, Mommy finally found you. Anin. Shi Anxin stood there stiffly. She had never been hugged before. After just a moment, she felt her neck getting wet and her body became even stiffer. Mom, my sister is almost dying from being hugged by you. Shi Anlei saw that his sister's face was flushed red, so he quickly pulled his mother. Don't let the sister you finally found die again. When his mother Anyun heard what her son said, she quickly let go and looked down at her daughter. Seeing a face similar to her husband's and her daughter's frail body, she felt even more distressed. And I'm your mother. I'm sorry. If I hadn't been careless at that time. Shi's mother has been living in regret all these years. Whenever she thinks of her daughter, She feels infinite pain. Seeing that his mother was about to cry again, Shi Anxin interrupted her and said, "Mom, let's go home first. Anan is tired." Hearing that her daughter was tired, Shi's mother immediately put away her sadness and pulled her daughter towards the aircraft. "Yes, Anan, come home. Mom bought a lot of things for you." Shi Anxin, who had not had the time to say goodbye to his elder brother, was forced to be pulled by Shi's mother onto the aircraft. When he saw Shi's mother starting the aircraft skillfully and the people outside who were trying to jump on in a hurry and almost failed, his depressed mood suddenly disappeared. Shi Anxin was already used to his mother's impetuous personality. He looked at his sister, smiled and introduced himself. "Hi, sister. I'm your third brother. Welcome home." Shi Anxin nodded obediently. "Third brother?" Then turned to look at her mother who had tears in her eyes and was full of expectation. "Mom." "Hey." The two of them answered in unison. Along the way, Shi Anxin looked at the environment of the capital planet while being guided by the humorous words of her third brother, and Shi Anxin gradually relaxed. Shi's mother held her daughter's hand tightly and looked at Shi Anxin with tenderness on her face, as if she could never look at her enough. When they got home, Shi's mother immediately asked Shi Xiaoxiao to bring the food that she had ordered in advance. "An, eat first. I heard from your eldest brother that he has been drinking nutrient solution these days and hasn't eaten anything yet. Mom ordered the food a long time ago and sent it over early in the morning. Shi Xiaoxiao has been keeping it warm. Come and try it." Shi Anxin was pulled to the dining table, which was full of food and smelled okay. Yes, Shi Anxin can only describe it as okay. For Shi Anxin, who has always eaten the magical rice and vegetables that she grew herself, the food in front of her without any spiritual energy is no different from nutrient solution. By the way, this is Shi Xiaoxiao, our robot butler. You can tell him if you need anything in the future. The 1.9-meter tall, elegant-looking man next to him turned out to be a robot. Shi Xiaoxiao bowed gracefully. "Ms. Anan, welcome home." Thanks. Shi Anxin nodded, admiring the realism of the robot. It was similar to the puppets in the world of cultivation, lifeless but human-like. "Sister, come and try this. It's the most delicious." Shi Anxin put his favorite braised pork ribs into his sister's bowl. "Anan, this is also delicious. You try it." Shi's mother also quickly picked up the dishes. Shi Anxin lowered her head and took a bite. Sure enough, the meat was fine and had a meaty taste, but who could tell her why every bite of green vegetables had a faint dry, sour, and bitter taste? "Is it delicious?" Looking at the expectant eyes of her mother and third brother, Shi Anxin smiled and nodded, "Delicious," and then took a big mouthful of rice. The rice grains are not full at all. They don't have the fragrance of rice, nor the soft, glutinous, and sweet feeling. The taste is hard to describe. This meal made Shi Anxin miss the food in the cultivation world. After the meal, Shi Anxin learned that this meal cost 100,000 star coins. Her eyes widened. Such a disgusting dish was so expensive. Because Shi's mother had to rush back to the nursing home to take care of Shi's father, she said goodbye to her daughter with reluctance. "Third brother, why can't I go visit Dad?" Shi Anxin wondered why her mother didn't let her go to the nursing home. Shi Anxin sighed, "Don't think too much. Mom is doing this for your own good, and even we haven't been to the nursing home for a long time." Before his mental collapse, my father's mental strength was SS. Although he is unconscious now, his mental strength has been unconsciously attacking people from time to time. Only my mother can get close to him. No one else can. That's why my mom quit her job and has been taking care of my dad in a nursing home. Hearing this, Shi Anxin nodded. "Dad can't wake up?" Shi Anxin was silent. At present, the medicine that can repair the mental disorder has not been developed yet. We can only suppress it. However, if it is used too much, it will have serious side effects on the human body. So, after hearing this, Shi Anxin also fell silent. Mental power is similar to the spiritual consciousness in the world of cultivation. If the spiritual consciousness is injured in the world of cultivation, it can be restored by taking a spiritual pill. However, now it is the interstellar world, and no one knows how to refine pills, let alone spiritual pills. By the way, Mom bought you a lot of things. Come on, let me show you your room. Shi Anxin interrupted Shi Anxin's thoughts and took his sister to her room. "This is what Mom bought for you." This. All bought by Mom. Mom is so stupid. She even bought you such a dazzling color. I really doubt Mom's taste. TSK. This is prepared for you by your second brother. He said it's for self-defense. There's an instruction manual inside. You can study it yourself. You don't have to use it. I think it's too dangerous. Don't hurt yourself by accident. This is what your fourth brother bought for you. Stupid stuff. All he bought are snacks. Everyone likes to eat like him. This is what your sister prepared for you. A flying skateboard? Oh, it's the latest model. It's really expensive, haha. This is the latest mecha I prepared for you. Although you probably won't be able to use it, the Department of Botany doesn't seem to have a mecha class. Right. Listening to the third brother introducing the gifts in the house one by one and complaining about everyone, Shi Anxin felt funny and warm in her heart. Looking at the well-stocked wardrobe and the floor filled with gifts of all sizes, Shi Anxin felt the expectations and love of her family for their daughter who had been lost for many years. Shi Anxin saw the message from her mother and clicked it to see that it was a money transfer. Oh boy, it's 7 zeros this time. Shi Anxin's face was full of surprise and her complexion turned red with joy. In her previous life, she worked so hard but never had so much money. Now she was rich. Shi Anxin, who was standing by, saw his sister's look and instantly realized what was going on. He then immediately transferred money to his sister. When the sound of ding sounded, Anxin saw the transfer from third brother and looked up at him. Third brother, you bought me a gift. You don't have to transfer money to me. This mecha is already expensive enough. She took a look at the mechas when she was on the starship. They were very expensive, not to mention this new model, which started at 7 figures each, or even more. Shi Anxin waved his hand nonchalantly. Don't worry, third brother has money, and this mecha is free. I got it from the company, haha. Hearing what the third brother said, she nodded. As for what company it was, she didn't ask, nor did she want to know. She only cared that her little treasury was already rich. Why is there one missing mecha among the newly delivered ones? Mund frowned and looked at the mecha chain on the table. The secretary at the side said with a constipated look on his face, Mr. Xiao said he was giving it to his sister as a gift, and he took it away. Femin turned around and asked, Sister? A meeting gift? He knew his good friend. She did have a younger sister. He heard from her last time that she was admitted to the mecha department of Capital Star University this year. So this mecha should be a gift for her sister. Oh, that's not right. Femin suddenly remembered. Didn't this guy also take one of the last batch he sent over, saying it was for his sister to celebrate her admission into the mecha department? The secretary nodded. He remembered it. So he looked confused when Xiao Shizong mentioned that he was giving his sister a gift. Could it be? The secretary said with an awkward expression, the younger sister is not the younger sister? Mund raised his eyebrows and said, You should promote this batch of mechas to the project department first. Once the players have finished their inspections and there are no problems, they can be put into production. Okay, Mr. Fei. The secretary took the batch of mecha chains and left. After the secretary left, Femin immediately contacted his friend. Hey, what's up? I'm busy. Shi Anxin was explaining to his sister how to use a mecha and its functions. When he received a call from a friend, he ignored it and refused to interrupt. Hearing his friend's shameless words, Femin laughed angrily. Didn't you take leave to stay at home? How come you were busy? You came to the company and took the mecha chain and left. You didn't even check if the company is busy or not. Can't you sit down and deal with the work for a while? You order me around all day long, and it's very convenient for me to do it. Shi Anxin saw that the third brother was busy and immediately whispered, Third brother, you have something to do first. I will go back to my room to study by myself. Upon hearing this, Shi Anxin said quickly, No, Anxin. Mechas are very dangerous. Although your mental strength has broken through a plus and you are qualified to drive a mecha, your physical fitness is C, so you can't drive a mecha yet. Wait until you improve your physical fitness and then slowly adapt in the simulation chamber. Once you are adapted, you can drive a mecha. Hearing what the third brother said, Shi Anxin decisively put away the mecha. Okay, third brother, I don't know how to drive a mecha. I'll talk about it when I have the ability. As for when I will be able to do so, we'll talk about it later. Shi Anxin waved goodbye to her third brother and went back to her room to rest. When she returned to her room, Shi Anxin looked at the pink princess-style room and felt like laughing. However, when she thought of what her mother said that she could change her style, she immediately searched on Star Network. As Femin listened to his friend's conversation and confirmed that the girl's voice was not Shi Anxin's, he became more and more confused. Your sister is gone? Shi Anlei saw his sister leave and half lay on the sofa. Well, what's up? The mecha you just mentioned is the one you took from my office, right? You said it was a gift for your sister? How come I didn't know who else you had besides an Excian? Shi Anlei smiled. Of course you don't know. My sister just came back today. She's my dear. I'll bring her to you to meet her someday. You must protect my sister in the future. My sister is not in good health. Wait a minute. Fermund was surprised. Isn't your biological sister? Almost everyone in their circle knew about the matter of the Shi family's youngest daughter. They also knew that she had not been found after so many years. Everyone thought that she was in great danger. Now a good friend said that she had been found and returned. It was simply unbelievable. Hearing his friend's words, Shi Anlei immediately cursed, "Get lost. My sister is alive and well. Don't let me hear such words again. And tell them that my sister's name is Shi Anxin, and everyone should behave themselves when they see my sister in the future. Anyone who bullies her will die." No. Really? Femund was still shocked. What's the specific situation? How did you find it? At this point, Shi Anlei proudly said, my sister was also admitted to Capital Star University. We knew about her admission as soon as her information was released. You don't know, Anan looks so much like my dad. You can recognize them without any identification. Hearing this, Feimingda was also happy for his friend. Now that my sister has been found, I must treat her well in the future. By the way, what about an Exine? Will she have any grudges in her heart? Shi Anlei scratched his head. That shouldn't be the case, right? That girl trains all day long, and her only goal is to become stronger and be admitted to the 9th Legion of the Federation. Apart from this, nothing can affect her. Right? When Fermund thought of Shi Anxin, he felt a headache. That should be it. By the way, her training is almost over, right? I wonder how badly her mecha will be damaged this time. He felt heartbroken when he thought about how Shi Anxin would send the mecha to him for repair every time it was damaged, without paying him a penny and demanding that the most advanced and best materials be used. I say, can you persuade her to just get a new mecha? Every time the people in the technical department see her mecha, they come to me to complain. They are good technicians, but they have become mecha repairmen. If it is slightly damaged, it's okay. But the key is that this girl's mecha is almost scrapped every time it is delivered. I'll try my best. But that mecha of hers was her first birthday present from my father, and she's reluctant to get a new one. When Shi Anlei thought of his sister's stubbornness, he also felt a headache. Alas, now Femund can only pray that this time his mecha will not be scrapped. Because of work, Shi Anlei also left home, leaving Shi Xiaoxiao and Shi Anxin at home. Shi Anxin curiously walked around the house, and finally, standing in front of the door, she felt a little dazzled by the large bare yard. Not only was the yard dazzling, but she also felt like something was missing since she arrived on the capital planet. The skyscrapers were magnificent and exquisite, and the people were energetic, but she felt that the planet lacked some vitality. Yes, vitality, the vitality that comes from plants. In Shi Anxin's understanding, plants are the original life force of a planet. If there are no plants on a planet, then this planet must be fragile and will be damaged by the slightest blow. From the original owner's memory and the information found on the Star Network, Shi Anxin also learned how precious plants were in this era. Plant cultivation is difficult because there are many uncontrollable factors in the growth process. If you are not careful, the plants will wither and die, or become poisonous. However, although planting is so difficult, the interstellar people have a very high respect for plants. Who cannot love green and lovely plants? Therefore, once precious plants are grown, they will be fought over by all parties. Shi Anxin looked at the plants sold on Star Online. A malnourished dogtail grass could be sold for 100,000 star coins, and it was sold out. So profitable. Shi Anxin looked at the bare yard, his eyes gradually brightening. Then, thinking of her spiritual power, her eyes dimmed a little. She was an expert in planting in her previous life, but now she has so little spiritual power. The spiritual energy she absorbed on the starship last time. Only a tiny bit of spiritual power in her dantian, too poor. Miss Anxin, do you need anything? Suddenly, Shi Xiaoxiao's voice came to her ears. Shi Anxin looked at the elegant Shi Xiaoxiao beside her and couldn't help but ask, Xiaoxiao, can I plant some plants in the yard? Shi Xiaoxiao nodded. Of course, Miss Anxin. According to the federal residence, this yard belongs to the Shi family and can be renovated at will. Hearing this, Shi Anxin immediately placed an order for seeds on StarNet. Let me see what seeds are available. Shi Anxin was happily browsing the Star Network. She found that the seeds were quite complete. Although the price was high, few people bought them. Moreover, they were all sold by the Federal Botanical Research Institute. In addition, it was written next to each seed, plants can be recycled at a high price, which means that if someone bought the seeds, they could resell them to them after successful cultivation and at a considerable price. However, due to people's admiration for natural plants, as long as someone cultivates one, it will be purchased at a high price in a few moments. Of course, there are only a few people who can cultivate it successfully, so the plants in the entire Federation are basically monopolized by research institutes. Of course, the Federation also strongly encourages people to grow their own plants, but due to too many uncontrollable factors, plants are too difficult to grow and people are unwilling to grow them. Moreover, cultivating plants not only requires a lot of time and energy, but also requires buying various nutrient solutions and insect repellents. And you may not be successful in the end. Shi Anxin chose rosemary, mint, and sunflower seeds. Rosemary and mint help calm the mind, refresh the brain, and can also effectively relieve headaches and change sleep. When the seeds are ripe, she plans to send them to Shi's father to see if they can relieve his mental strength. There are also sunflowers. Shi Anxin was attracted by their cheapness. One sunflower seed is only 100 star coins, which is the cheapest of all seeds. Shi Anxin bought 5 seeds each, and also placed an order for tools for turning the soil and planting, as well as some nutrient solution and other things. In total, she spent 80,000 star coins. Seeing the money being deducted, Shi Anxin felt heartbroken for a moment, but when she thought that a mature sunflower could be sold for 100,000 star coins, she was fine again. After gaining some spiritual power, Shi Anxin discovered that the spiritual roots of this body were much better than those in the previous life. They were 3 spiritual roots, which were the harmonious coexistence of wood, water, and earth. After discovering this situation, Shi Anxin was so happy that she could finally practice without having to endure the mutual rejection of her spiritual roots. Soon, the courier arrived. Shi Anxin opened the package of seeds and said, "No wonder it's so expensive. This box probably costs 10,000 star coins." Shi Anxin looked at the box containing the seeds. It was very exquisite and the sealing effect was very good. This is to prevent the seeds from colliding or getting damaged during transportation. The Institute has specially developed a box that also contains nutrient solution to ensure the activity of each seed. This is also how the Botanical Research Institute guarantees that each seed has an 80% survival rate. Shi Xiaoxiao explained nearby. So that's how it is. The Botanical Research Institute is very attentive. Shi Anxin nodded, then carefully opened the box according to the instructions next to it. The moment it opened, Shi Anxin accurately captured a faint trace of spiritual energy. It's seeds. Shi Anxin looked at the 15 seeds in the box with surprise, closed her eyes and felt them carefully. Sure enough, she was not wrong. There was indeed a faint spiritual energy in the seeds. This discovery surprised Shi Anxin. She waited for the seeds to germinate and mature, and there would be more spiritual energy. Shi Anxin couldn't wait any longer. Xiao, help me unpack those packages. I bought a few flower pots. Can you bring them to me? Thank you. Okay. Miss Anxin and Xiao accurately found the package containing the flower pot, opened it, and handed it over. Shi Anxin carefully checked each seed, making sure that each one was alive, and then she put it down. I dug some soil in the yard, mixed it with the nutrient soil I bought, then carefully planted 15 seeds and marked the pots. Miss Anxin, do you need to pour in the nutrient solution? Shi Anxin shook her head. No, let them adapt to the new environment first. I'll go upstairs first. Don't call me for dinner. I'll drink the nutrient solution. Okay. Missin and Shi Anxin carried the flower pot back to her room. Grow up quickly, my dears. Putting the flower pot next to herself, Shi Anxin meditated and practiced beside it. This was also her little secret of growing spiritual plants in her previous life. Practicing next to the plants formed a spiritual energy circulation between herself and the plants. This would not only increase her spiritual power, but also make the plant's spiritual energy more intense and grow well. Shi Anxin calmed down and mobilized the pitiful amount of spiritual power in his body, merging it bit by bit with the spiritual energy in the seeds beside him. Time passed minute by minute, and suddenly a pop sound was heard in the quiet space. A seed broke free and stretched its body happily. The germination of this seed successfully attracted the attention of other seeds, and they also tried hard to break through the shackles and germinate. Bo, one seed after another drilled out of the soil, stretched their bodies hard, competed for spiritual energy, and then gave it back. In this way, Shi Anxin and the seeds absorbed and fed each other. The next day, Shi Anxin stopped practicing with a refreshed spirit. She was pleasantly surprised to find that her spiritual power had become much stronger. She looked at the flower pot beside her and saw that all 15 seeds had sprouted. It seems that her method still works here. Shi Anxin decisively ordered another batch of seeds to plant together. Strike while the iron is hot. After Shi Anxin solved his stomach problem, he sent a message to Shi Xiao, informing it not to disturb him, and then continued to practice. 1 day passed. 2 days have passed. 3 days. Ms. Anxin, welcome home. Xiao, long time no see. Shi Anxin said with a smile when she saw Shi Xiao, then she looked around but did not find the person she wanted to see. Sister. Where's my sister? Shi Anxin was a little uncomfortable with this name and asked stiffly, Are you asking about Miss Anxin? Miss Anxin is in her room. She asked us not to disturb her. Miss Anxin hasn't gone out for 5 days. Shi Xiao answered respectfully. 5 days. Shi Anxin's face changed drastically. Thinking of the fact that Shi Anxin was attacked by a star beast on the road and almost lost her life, she quickly walked towards Shi Anxin's room. Boom, boom, boom. Shi Anxin knocked on Shi Anxin's door calmly, but she didn't hear any movement from inside. She became more and more worried. Anxin. The knocking on the door became more and more urgent, and Shi Anxin's heart began to lift. She was ready to break in. Click, sister. The door opened and Shi Anxin's shouting stopped abruptly. When she saw who was inside, her eyes turned red instantly. Shi Anxin was interrupted in her practice. Before she could ask what was wrong, she saw the girl outside the door with red eyes, and she was about to cry in the next second. Before I could say any words of comfort, the girl suddenly changed her expression and said coldly, It's nothing. I just heard Xiao say that you haven't been out for 5 days. I was worried about you, so I knocked on the door. Sorry to bother you. Oh, I forgot to tell Xiao. Sorry, it's my fault. Shi Anxin looked at the cool girl, who looked very much like the girl from the sword sect in her previous life, with a very strong feeling. Shi Anxin noticed Shi Anxin's gaze, and her body stiffened a little. I am Shi Anxin. Then she fell silent and waited quietly. Oh, hecko, sister. I'm Shi Anxin. I really like the flying skateboard you gave me. I heard from my third brother that it cost a lot of money. I'm sorry that you spent a lot of money. Thank you, sister. Shi Anxin also checked on the internet and found out that the flying skateboard was really super expensive. The latest version was priced at 1.08 million star coins, which was really expensive. For anyone who spent so much money to give her a gift, Shi Anxin would give the greatest preferential treatment. Sister, wait a minute. I just happened to give you a gift. As she said this, Anxin remembered the plants growing well in the house and planned to give them to her sister whom she had just met. When Anxin saw the situation in the flower pot, she turned around decisively and pulled Shi Anxin in from the door. Sister, you choose it yourself, and I will fill the pot for you after you choose it. Put.ina basin? Shi Anxin was just thinking about the word sister and the words Anxin said about the gift she gave her. Before she could react, she was pulled into the house. As soon as she entered the house, Shi Anxin keenly noticed a comfortable atmosphere in the room, and then what came into her eyes was a very beautiful scene. In the pink room, there were clusters of emerald green plants and vibrant yellow sunflowers. The fragrance of plants and flowers in the air instantly soothed Shi Anxin's tense nerves. Sister, which one do you like? I'll put it in a nice pot for you. I bought a lot of beautiful flower pots. You can choose one, Shi Anxin said, taking out various flower pots that she had bought before from the package. The various kinds of flower pots were pleasing to the eye. Shi Anxin listened to every word Shi Anxin said, but she seemed not to understand. These plants. Shi Anxin stuttered a little. The plants in Anne's house felt different from the ones she had seen before. You can choose any one you like. I'll plant another batch later, Shi Anxin said generously. It must be said that this sister's appearance and temperament are completely in line with her aesthetic point. She is so beautiful. She has neat short hair, sharp eyebrows, a cold face, and an upright figure. Oh, with the bruises on her face, she looks like a heroic woman. Shi Anxin quickly calmed down and looked at Shi Anxin, who was looking at her with stars in her eyes. The corners of her mouth slightly raised, and there was a tenderness in her eyes that she could hardly notice. You said you planted all these? Shi Anxin nodded. Well, the time is a bit short. These are roses, and they are about to bloom. Shi Anxin bent down to check. She was in a hurry to open the door, and had not had time to check the growth of each seed after it germinated. However, considering that she had a lot of spiritual power in her body, the plants were growing well. These are rosemary, which has a calming effect and repels mosquitoes. These are mints. If you smell them, you will feel a cool sensation, which instantly calms your brain. You can also eat them. Try them. Click no. Shi Anxin watched Shi Anxin break off the emerald green leaves and put them to her mouth. Then Shi Anxin smelled a cool and refreshing scent and opened her mouth involuntarily and put the leaves in her mouth. Try chewing it. As she said that, Shi Anxin also picked a piece and tasted it. It tasted the same as Qingxin grass. Hiss, so numb. And Anxin felt her tongue a little numb and a little cold. The mental strength that had been intensively trained in the training camp for a month was suddenly restored at this moment, as if the whole person was soaked in cool and refreshing water, very comfortable. This is a sunflower. It has just bloomed. You can see that there are already small sunflower seeds in the center of the flower disc. It is still empty now. You can eat it when it matures. Isn't it beautiful? Shi Anxin looked at these plants and felt very close to them. This was the most reassuring time for her since she came to this strange world. Well, very beautiful, Shi Anxin said as she looked at the tender yellow flowers, her eyes flashing with amazement. She had seen this kind of flowers in the botanical garden before, but none of them were as lively as the ones her sister grew. And this is a branch of roses. Look here, the buds are about to bloom. You'll see them bloom after a while. Roses are very fragrant and can help you sleep. Shi Anxin carefully touched the small flower bud. Before it bloomed, she seemed to smell the fragrant aroma at the tip of her nose. Sister, you can pick any one you want, and I'll transplant it into the pot for you. Shi Anxin said hesitantly, Are these cultivated by you? Yes, don't worry, sister. What I produce is guaranteed to be high quality, with a high survival rate and easy to raise. Shi Anxin patted her chest and assured that now that these plants have been baptized by her spiritual power, they are very vibrant, and they will grow well if they are not destroyed maliciously. After getting her sister's answer, Shi Anxin looked at the girl in front of her in shock, amazed at her sister's talent, but happy for her in her heart. Finally, Shi Anxin chose a rose, and after getting Shi Anxin's consent, she painfully picked a small leaf from each plant and prepared to take them for inspection. Sister, do you want to take it away now? Or should I take it for you first? I can take it away when it blooms? Shi Anxin transplanted the rose that Shi Anxin had chosen into a pink flower pot. Looking at the flower pot chosen by his sister, Shi Anxin's mouth twitched and he wanted to say something, but finally he held back and didn't speak. Let me keep it here for now. I don't know how to raise it. Okay, wait until it blooms, then you can take it away. By the way, you can put this in the house. It will be good for you. Shi Anxin quickly transplanted a rosemary and a mint and handed them to Shi Anxin. It should be better for your mental strength. Shi Anxin felt that the spiritual power here was similar to the divine consciousness in the world of cultivation. These plants already had spiritual energy, and they would exhale some spiritual energy every day, which was not only helpful to people's bodies, but also to their spiritual power. I heard from my third brother that this sister is simply a workaholic. Ever since she had a physical test at the age of 5 and was found to have a mental strength of C, this girl has been like crazy, training whenever she has free time. I don't know where she got this method, but it helps to drain her mental strength to its limit, which helps to increase her mental strength. The Shi family did not have too many expectations for each of their children. They only hoped that they would be healthy and safe. Of course, with the genes of Shi's father and mother, the children of the Shi family were quite talented. It was also because of this that Shi Anxin worked hard to hone himself, wanting to become as strong as his family. Everyone in the Shi family tried to dissuade her, but they could not stand the girl's stubbornness, so they let her go in the end. Of course, Shi Anxin's efforts were not in vain. After so many years of hard work, her mental power finally broke through to level A, and she was qualified to apply to become a mecha soldier. Her efforts did not disappoint, and she was successfully admitted to the mecha department of the first university of the capital star this year. Shi Anxin looked at the plant that Shi Anxin handed over and was silent, looking at Shi Anxin with a complicated look. "Aren't you angry with me?" "What?" Shi Anxin was a little puzzled. Shi Anxin clenched her fists and said, "Because of the mistaken embrace, you have had a hard time in the past 18 years, but I am enjoying your life. Aren't you angry?" Shi Anxin looked at her sister in surprise. She was very calm and rational from the first time they met. She thought that her sister would not bother her because of her background. But, to her surprise, Shi Anxin immediately said, "Why do you think that? This is not your fault, nor is it our parents' fault. We can only say that everyone has their own fate and destiny. At that time, we were all just born and knew nothing. Although we were taken away by the wrong family, I think we were very lucky. I heard from my eldest brother that only 1/3 of people were lucky enough to escape. Rather than saying that it was unfortunate for us to be taken away by the wrong family, it is better to say that we were lucky enough to survive. As for the matter of being taken away by the wrong baby, I can only say that everything in the world has its own destiny, which has been determined from the beginning. In the past, we had no ability to change it and could only go with the flow. When we have the ability, our destiny can be in our own hands. Such is fate, such is destiny. I never thought it was your fault, and I hope you can think it through and not regard this as a mental demon. Obsession? This will have a huge impact on your future cultivation. Future progress. If you are worried that my family will abandon you after I come back, you can rest assured. None of our family members have that intention. If you don't believe me, ask Mom and the others." Shi Anxin thought about it and felt that this might be the reason. Shi Anxin shook her head and said, "No, I just overthink it." Thinking back to what she just said, Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin with a complicated look. "Thank you, sister." Shi Anxin smiled and shook her head. "No need to thank me. I just hope you can figure it out yourself, sister." In the world of cultivation, the most taboo thing is the inner demon. Once a person has an inner demon, it means ruining his or her own future. She doesn't want this hard-working girl to stop because of this incident. Once a person has something he can't let go of, the longer it takes to resolve it, the more it will affect his fortune and destiny. Shi Anxin took the leaves to find Lin Jinma, and Shi Anxin moved all the plants in the house to the yard with Shi Xiaoxiao. "Miss Anxin, where should these plants be planted?" Shi Xiaoxiao asked, holding the tools. "Wait a moment." After saying that, Shi Anxin stroked the ground, closed his eyes and felt the land carefully. Then she discovered that there was something uncomfortable in the soil in the yard, and she directly used her spiritual power to purify that bad thing. "Phew, it's done. We can plant now." Shi Anxin's face looked a little pale, but fortunately she had purified all the land in the yard, so there was no problem planting the plants. Shi Xiaoxiao followed Shi Anxin's instructions and carefully planted each plant in the yard, and then watered each one with water mixed with nutrient solution. In fact, Shi Anxin didn't like the nutrient solution here. "I'm sorry for putting you through this. When my cultivation level improves, I will definitely give you a spiritual rain." Halala, as if they heard Shi Anxin's words. All the plants swayed happily. "So beautiful. Miss Anxin, can I take a picture?" Shi Xiaoxiao asked. "Of course." Shi Anxin looked at the yard with satisfaction. It finally had a bit of vitality, and the air was filled with the fragrance of plants. By the way, I have divided the plants for Mom, Dad, and my brothers. Xiao Xiao, please help me mail them later. Okay, Miss Anxin. After giving the instructions, Shi Anxin returned to her room to prepare to order some other seeds. She felt that some other types of flowers should be added to the yard. Click Shi Xiao Xiao took a photo and sent it to the Shi family group. The plants grown by Miss Anxin are so beautiful. Please pay attention to the package that Miss Anxin sent to you later. Shi Anlei was the first to see the photo. What is this? Then Mother Shi's instructions were quickly sent to Shi Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, open the protective shield. Shi Xiao Xiao received the order from her mother and immediately opened the protective shield of the Shi family. In an instant, a transparent protective shield slowly rose up and covered the entire sky above the Shi family. At this time, people outside can no longer see what is inside the protective shield, and all breath has been isolated. In the interstellar age, every household must have a protective shield, one reason being a sense of privacy, and the other being to prevent surprise attacks from star beasts or enemies. Of course, the functions of protective shields are also different, divided into ordinary and advanced. The Shi family's protective shield was designed by Shi Anyu himself. In addition to the most advanced anti-peeping protection function, it also has the most comprehensive protection function and the most advanced attack system. Xiao Xiao, was this planted by Anxin? I've only been away for a few days. How come there are so many plants? Xiao Xiao, you didn't buy this, did you? No, these plants are growing so well. They must have cost a lot of money, right? Doesn't Anxin have enough money? Sure, Xiao Xiao. These were planted by Miss Anxin herself. The seeds were purchased. After getting a definite answer, Shi Anlei became more excited. He jumped up and down in the group and asked questions non-stop. My sister is so amazing. She can grow such beautiful green plants. I want that yellow flower. Xiao Xiao, send me yellow flowers. I think yellow matches my temperament very well. Shi Anlei called Shi Xiao Xiao desperately, but Shi Xiao Xiao was too busy to answer him as she was communicating with her mother. At this time in the sanatorium, Shi's mother looked at the plants in the yard with a serious face, and she asked Shi Xiao Xiao to take close-up photos. After confirming again and again that these were indeed cultivated by her youngest daughter herself, Shi's mother was shocked and proud. It seems that the daughter has a great talent for planting, just like her father. Looking up at her husband, who was as thin as a dead tree on the hospital bed, Shi's mother's eyes were full of tenderness. Jingguang, our daughter not only looks like you, but also has the same talent as you. The man on the hospital bed lay quietly with his eyes closed. His furrowed brows showed that he was experiencing the pain of mental breakdown all the time. Even so, the man's face was still elegant and handsome. If Shi Anxin was here, she would definitely recognize that this was her father, because their faces were so similar. Shi's father is now emaciated due to long-term mental breakdown, and Shi Anxin is also pale and thin due to malnutrition since childhood. He has a similar face and is similarly morbidly thin. Fortunately, Anxin's spiritual power is recovering bit by bit now. She uses her spiritual power to nourish her body, and her health is getting better bit by bit. Okay, that's enough. Shi's mother signaled Shi Xiao Xiao that she could stop filming. By the way, did Shi Anxin go home today? Shi's mother remembered that her eldest daughter had finished training today and was going home, and wondered if the two had met. Miss Shi Anxin has returned and met Miss Anxin. Then, Shi Xiao Xiao repeated to Shi's mother everything they said from the moment they met. When Shi's mother heard what her little daughter said, her heart was deeply moved. She didn't expect that Anxin, who grew up in such an environment, had such a big mentality. She had originally planned that if the two daughters could get along harmoniously, everyone would be happy, but if they were hostile to each other, she would forcibly separate them. Let the two of them develop in their own understanding without disturbing each other. But judging from the current situation, the two should be able to get along harmoniously. Shi's mother felt relieved a little, but still asked Shi Xiao Xiao to continue observing the two of them and tell her immediately if there were any changes. Okay, ma'am, don't worry, Shi Xiao Xiao promised, and then began to pack up the plants that Miss Anxin had left behind and send them to other members of the Shi family. The package has been sent, please check it. Shi Anlei watched for a long time before Shi Xiaoxiao sent a message. He continued to ask, Xiaoxiao, is that the yellow flower you sent me? I want yellow flowers. If you don't send it to me, I'll ask my sister for it. Shi Xiaoxiao finally replied, Third Master, it's a yellow flower. Please don't disturb Miss Anan's rest. She is very tired. Oh, okay. When Shi Anlei heard that his sister was tired, he immediately turned off the engine. Afterwards, a scene appeared in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the capital star. Colonel Shi, who is aggressive and sharp-tongued to the outside world but humorous and witty at home, asked the guard again and again if there was any express package for him. This scene aroused the curiosity of his colleagues. Shi Anlei is very famous in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. No, he is probably quite famous in the entire galaxy. Shi Anlei originally studied command. When he was in school, he was known for his sharp tongue. In every exchange competition, whenever he met a student from the Empire, he would directly attack him in all directions, regardless of whether the other party was good or bad. He was even more powerful than a woman's mouth. It was also for this reason that the Minister of Foreign Affairs Lin Min took a liking to him at first sight and recruited him directly to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs after graduation. But an old man is not afraid of tigers. When Anlei, who had just graduated and joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs a few months ago, went to the Empire for diplomatic negotiations for the first time, he was recognized by everyone in the Federation and the Empire. It was just because in the solemn and quiet live broadcast, Shi Anlei didn't like the other party's bullying, so he couldn't help but gave the other party a big slap, and then he output all kinds of unbearable words, making the other party unable to defend, and finally signed the unreasonable agreement in a daze. Since then, Shi Anlei has become a favorite of the people of the Federation and a jerk of the people of the Empire. Colonel Shi, your package. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the guard finally received Colonel Shi's package and quickly contacted Colonel Shi to sign for it. Colonel Shi's reputation for being long-winded was well-deserved. After just 20 minutes, the guard felt his head was buzzing. After receiving the notification from the security guard, Shi rushed downstairs to get it, his heart full of anticipation. Where's my package? Shi Anlei glanced around and saw the package at the door at a glance. In a trance, he seemed to smell the fragrance of flowers. Courier company. Bullshit, it's all an illusion. The box that I use to wrap my plants is an energy box that can block out all smells. Shi Anlei quickly signed for the express delivery and happily and impatiently took the package back to his office. Bang! After Shi Anlei's door was closed, a group of people came out from behind, secretly leaned against Shi Anlei's door, and talked carefully. Tell me, what's in that package? What can make this kid so impatient? A gift from his secret crush? Bullshit. Our high-class lady will never give this kid a gift. Indeed, Irene recently went on a business trip to the Nth Galaxy with a group of them. I heard that she was very busy and had no time to give him a gift. Not to mention that Irene did not agree with the pursuit of this madman at all. Yeah, then why does this guy take a package so seriously? Shi Anlei inside didn't know that his colleagues were gossiping about him around his door, but it wouldn't matter even if they knew. These colleagues, who seemed more serious than each other outside, were actually just pretending. Every time the diplomatic corps stationed in the Empire sent them gossip about the Empire, these people would eat the gossip as if they had taken stimulants, and they would enjoy it more than anyone else. And every time people come back from a business trip, they will share with everyone some gossip they encountered, which is simply outrageous. Shi Anlei carefully opened the package box in the office, and a touch of tender yellow and vibrant sunflower appeared on his eyelids. A refreshing fragrance wafted into his nose, and Shi Anlei's previous impatient mood was instantly soothed. So beautiful. Shi Anlei carefully opened all the packages, gently placed the flower pot with sunflowers on the table, and carefully looked at every inch of the sunflower. Excited, Shi Anlei took photos of the sunflowers from all angles and sent them to his social circle. Mortals call me crazy. The sunflowers my sister gave me are so beautiful. Picture. Outside the door saw the picture sent by Shi Anlei. Their eyes widened, and then they knocked on the door frantically at the same time. Hearing the frantic knocking on the door, Shi Anlei came back to his senses and cursed inwardly. He just forgot to block his colleagues. Looking around, Shi Anxin calmly and carefully hid the sunflower in his locker, closed the door carefully, and then went to open it. What are you doing, little boy? Everyone walked into Shi Anxin's office, looking for the target like a minesweeper. Xiao Xiao, you are so unkind. Where's the sunflower? That's right. Where are sunflowers? Take them out and let me see them. I haven't seen them before. In the end, Shi Anxin handed over the sunflower in tears after the minister personally stepped in. Since then, a blooming sunflower has been heavily protected in the center of the hall of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This sunflower has become the symbol of the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Whether you are a federal or an imperial citizen, as long as you come to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you must appreciate this sunflower. The director of the Botanical Research Institute even came in person and wanted to take it away for research, but was rejected by the minister. Of course, this is a story for later. Mr. Shi, there is a package for you. The sweet-looking assistant carefully walked to Shi Anxin, who was concentrating on calculations, holding a package. Put it aside for now, thank you. Shi Anxin said without raising his head. His hoarse voice indicated that his master had not had a sip of water for a long time. Obviously, the assistant was very considerate and poured a glass of water. Shi Gong, drink some water and take a rest. You haven't rested for a week. Shi Anxin continued to calculate calmly. It's okay. You can go out first. After hearing what Shi Gong said, the assistant had no choice but to leave. As soon as the assistant left the house, people surrounded him and asked, "How was it? Did Shi Gong take a break?" The assistant shook his head in distress. "No, Shi Gong let me out." After hearing this, everyone looked depressed. What should we do? It's been a week. Why is Shi Gong working so hard this time? He didn't work so hard last time when he was researching the time jump fighter. Yes, but I heard that Shi Gong worked so hard this time in order to free up some time to go home. Go home? It seems that our Shi Gong has never asked for leave to go home since he came to our institute. It seems. What happened at Shi Gong's home? Bah. You don't know how to say nice things. Are you hoping for something bad to happen to Shi Gong's family? Be careful. Shi Gong might hear about it, or he will kill you on the next project. Stop it. I was wrong. Don't let Shi Gong know. In the office, Shi Anxin finally finished calculating the data. He raised his angular face, looking exhausted and with bloodshot eyes. He had not rested for a week and was completely relying on special nutrient solution to support his body. Even so, his mental strength has reached the critical point. If he continues to endure it, he will probably collapse. Fortunately, he finished the work at hand and could go home to see his sister. Shi Anxin thought of his sister whom he had never met, and immediately cheered up and packed up to go home. People outside were discussing Shi Gong's gossip when they heard Shi Gong coming out of the office. Time worker, everyone shouted respectfully. Although Shi Gong is young, he has a high status in the institute. There is no seniority system in their institute, only strength matters. Whoever has greater ability has the right to speak. Shi Anxin has been working in the Weapons Research Institute for 5 years. He has grown from a small assistant when he first came in to a worker who can now take on large projects. His abilities are obvious. Although Shi Anxin is young, he is even better than intelligent robots in weapons research and computing power. I have sorted out the data. You can use it to conduct experiments and send the results to me when they come out. Shi Anxin arranged it neatly. If you have any problems, go find Professor Shi Rue. If you can't solve it, please write it down. I'm on vacation for 3 days. I'll come back and solve it in 3 days. Then, Shi Anxin quickly left the research institute, leaving behind a group of people who started to get busy. Shi Anxin forced himself to gather his strength and quickly returned home, only to find that the protective shield was on at home. He was shocked and immediately entered the authorization form to turn on the protective shield. When Shi Xiao received the news, she immediately went out to greet him. "Master and you are back." The moment Shi Anxin entered the protective shield, a green fragrance wafted towards him. The tense mental strength and the tired body were instantly soothed. Shi Anxin was a little surprised when he looked at the green plants in the yard and the tender yellow flowers on both sides of the road. These were planted by Miss Anxin, aren't they beautiful? Miss Anxin also gave me one. "Master and you, take a look." Shi Xiao happily and carefully opened her chest and took out a pot of tender green and cute plants that had just sprouted. Shi Anyu felt that he had been in this state for too long, and his mind was a little confused. No, Xiao, I remember the laser cannon originally installed in this place. Where is your laser cannon? Shi Xiao was still smiling. I have applied for the latest modification assembly drawings. I am going to install the laser cannon on my arm. From now on, my heart will only be occupied by my little cutie. Shi Anyu said numbly, forget it. I'll go upstairs and revise it for you later. As he spoke, Shi Anyu's fatigue increased sharply. He felt very comfortable now and wanted to lie down and sleep immediately. Xiao, I'm going to take a nap first. Don't disturb me. As he said that, Shi Anyu had already taken out a simple folding bed from the space button and lay down in the yard to sleep. When Shi Anxin came out, Shi Anyu had already fallen into a deep sleep. Shi Anxin looked at the sleeping second brother and then looked at Shi Xiao. Xiao, is it okay for second brother to sleep here? Do we need to move him into the house? Shi Xiao shook her head. No need. Master and you is safe sleeping here. The protective shield has been opened. Okay. Shi Anxin looked up at the sky and saw a transparent protective shield covering the surroundings, like a barrier. This was good, as it would prevent the spiritual energy in the yard from overflowing. This is of great benefit to people living in the house. Shi Anxin felt the faint spiritual energy, and she regretted not taking the formation course at the beginning. It would be great to make a spirit-gathering formation in the yard. Alas, looking at my second brother who was sleeping comfortably, I saw a blue-gray color in his eyes. I could tell at a glance that he hadn't had a rest for a long time. Shi Anxin thought about it, remembered the gift his second brother had given him, and finally kindly transferred some spiritual power into his body to make him feel more comfortable. While sleeping soundly, and Yu was keenly aware of a comfortable breath moving through his body. Although he felt so comfortable that he wanted to fall asleep, his alert heart woke him up immediately. And then, when Shi Anyu saw the girl who looked familiar yet unfamiliar, he immediately recognized that she was his sister and put away his weapon. Hecko, second brother. Shi Anxin didn't expect that her second brother was so alert. Sister. Shi Anyu stood up and looked at his sister who looked like his father. There was no barrier in his heart, and his eyes were full of tenderness. You cultivated all of these? Very impressive. It seems that you not only look like your father, but also have the same talent as your father. Although Shi Anyu had not slept for long, he felt that his physical and mental strength had recovered. Dad? Shi Anxin looked at her second brother in confusion. She remembered that her father seemed to be the highest commander of the 9th Army before he fell into a coma. Shi Anyu was in a very good mood at this time. She took her sister into the house and took out a box from her parents' room. Come, sit here. Shi Anyu patted the seat next to him and asked his sister to sit there. Shi Anxin looked at the box in her second brother's hand curiously and sat down quickly. These are the patents and achievements that Dad obtained at the Botanical Research Institute before he joined the 9th Legion. Looking at the documents in the box and the rewards that Shi's father had received, Shi Anxin was shocked and confused. Dad has achieved so much in planting. Why in the end? Shi Anxin raised her confusion. Maybe it's love, ha. Shi Anyu laughed mischievously. Who made our mother only like people in the Legion? So our father had to change his job again. Who knew he would succeed and finally get the beauty? In the following time, the second brother told Shi Anxin the bloody love story between his parents. Although it was bloody, it was inspiring. I didn't expect that Dad would so decisively give up his existing achievements and embark on a completely new path for Mom. It's amazing. Shi Anxin admired and envied. In the world of cultivation, because cultivators have long lifespans, they take love, life, and death less seriously. Many couples often end up going their separate ways, and very few can end up together. Seeing his sister's envious expression, Shi Anyu's heart immediately sounded the alarm, and he quickly said, Of course, there are very few people like Dad, almost none. There were people who tried to imitate him before, but they all gave up. Sister, don't listen to men's glib words easily in the future. You have to look at their actual efforts. Of course, some men's efforts are not enough, because men like to get tired of the old and fall in love with the new. For an entire afternoon, Shi Anxin was forced by her second brother to learn about the unreliability of interstellar men, which successfully dispelled Shi Anxin's idea of trying to have a Taoist partner. Shi Anxin returned to her room and looked at the fresh sprouts just sprouting on the ground. Her depressed mood instantly improved. It turns out that men are unreliable. The most reliable thing is to become stronger myself. Shi Anxin quickly meditated and continued to practice, putting men and love behind her. The First Legion, he received a package from his sister and immediately transferred a considerable amount of pocket money to her. Nursing home the moment Shi's mother received the package, she opened it and placed it at her husband's bedside. It smells so good and is of better quality than the green plants you gave me that year. Shi's mother looked at the several pots of green plants on the table with joy. It seems that my daughter's talent is better than yours. Shi's mother felt her own mental power and looked at her husband in surprise. Taking Father Shi's condition into consideration, Shi Anxin specially injected a large amount of spiritual power into these mints and rosemary, hoping that they would help Father Shi's mental strength. The moment Father Shi took out the green plant, the data monitoring his body gradually changed. Even though my second brother is at home, it's as if he's not there. After returning home, Shi Anyu first helped Shi Xiaoxiao to modify her body, and then updated her arsenal and body sensitivity. They added a few new weapons developed by their research institute to the home's protective shield. Then, on the last afternoon, I quickly made close-fitting anti-attack shields for my two younger sisters. When Anyu was on vacation at home, he was even busier than when he was in his laboratory. After finally saying goodbye to his two younger sisters, Shi Anyu was hurriedly picked up by people from the research institute. Shi Anxin had already taken back the report from the green plant testing and showed it to Shi Anxin. Every data tested was of A+ quality. When this result came out, everyone in the testing organization was shocked, and they all asked about the source of the green plants. Fortunately, Lin Jinma suppressed it. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin with complicated feelings. Shi Anxin took a look at the report and didn't care at all. How could the quality of the crops she grew herself be bad? And you know that if you grow a plant of this quality and sell it out, it will be sold at a sky-high price. When Shi Anxin heard the word sky-high price, her eyes lit up instantly. Really? Can it be sold for a lot of money? Then let's sell a batch? As he spoke, Shi Anxin excitedly looked at the plants at hand, choosing which ones to sell first. Seeing his sister's intention, Shi Anxin was upset. No. I mean, these green plants you planted are precious, but they also indicate danger. Danger? Doesn't the Federation provide special protection for planters? Shi Anxin had read about it on StarNet before. As long as they cultivated grade B green plants, the Federation would give them the highest treatment and special protection. Shi Anxin calmly analyzed to Shi Anxin, that's right. But this is only within the Federation. You have to know that the people of the Empire have a special obsession with plants. Once they find someone who has cultivated high-quality green plants, they will try every means to abduct them to the Empire and cultivate green plants for them. Shi Anxin frowned. Does the Empire have no one in the field of planting? Well, yes, but they are all Federation people hired by the Empire with high salaries. Shi Anxin was puzzled. In such a large empire, there was no one who knew how to plant? Shi Anxin looked at her confused sister, thinking that her sister lived on the wasteland planet and didn't even know some things about the Federation, let alone the Empire. She patiently explained to her some things about the Federation and the Empire. It turns out that the Federation people are people who fled from Blue Star thousands of years ago and are pure humans. At first, our ancestors drifted aimlessly in the universe, searching for a planet where humans could survive. Finally, they discovered traces of life in this galaxy. And this creature is the Star Beast. Since then, a 1,000-year-long battle has begun for the fight for the planet. Human beings reproduce endlessly. With the advancement of science and technology, people want to become stronger and more superior, and the genes of each generation are stronger than the previous one. However, in front of the Star Beasts, humans are always like mayflies. At this time, another team slowly emerged, injecting human genes into the genes of various animals in an attempt to create a more perfect strongman. Finally, they succeeded and awakened their second form. They used human as their prototype, but they could transform into animals in battle. When the second form appeared, their combat power exploded and was indeed much stronger than humans. But there are also many disadvantages that come with it. For example, some can no longer be transformed back into humans after transforming into the second form. Also, after transforming into the second form, the animal's violent nature cannot be suppressed, and it often cannot control itself and will hurt its own kind. The last and most important point is that after transforming into the second form, mental strength is more likely to collapse. Thus, combining these factors, federations and empires were created. The areas where the Federation is located are all inhabited by pure humans, while the Empire is ruled by a new type of humans. Due to the genes of the second form, the Empire regards the strong as king and implements a hereditary system. Of course, there are also stronger people who can resist and inherit, which is similar to the ruling era in ancient times. Of course, the Imperial royal family was not as autocratic and old-fashioned as in ancient times. He just led the empire to its peak, and the management was still relatively democratic. Of course, it was also because the people of the empire were more obedient to the control. Anyway, as time went on, the Federation and the empire got along fairly peacefully in front of their common enemy, the star beasts, and resource sharing was also okay. Whoever was stronger took more. In short, there is always an invisible film between the Federation and the empire. Anyway, you look down on me, and I look down on you. Don't provoke me. I'm not afraid even if you provoke me. After the popular science, Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin calmly. So, you have to be careful in the future. Be cautious about where you go and who you come into contact with. Shi Anxin scratched his head and asked hesitantly, then, are those planters who were captured by the Empire dead? Shi Anxin didn't know why Shi Anxin asked this, so she answered honestly, not dead. What about their families? It seems that some were taken to the Empire, and some are still in the Federation. What are their living conditions like in the Empire? Are they abused? Well, it seems not that I heard. Planters can enjoy royal treatment when they go to the Empire. Seeing that Shi Anxin seemed to be somewhat yearning, Shi Anxin immediately added, but they require that they plant 10 acres of green plants every year. Otherwise, they will be deprived of these benefits. 10 acres. Shi Anxin was shocked. Yeah, you also think that the Imperial people are very... Shi Anxin felt relieved. So little. How cruel. Shi Anxin widened her eyes and looked at Shi Anxin in disbelief, not knowing what she had just said. Shi Anxin shook her head. It was only 10 acres. She used to plant 100 acres a month to make money. But this year, it was only 10 acres. The people in the Empire were really stupid and had a lot of money? Shi Anxin didn't believe what she heard. She stared blankly at Shi Anxin, who was already a pity. Don't worry, living is not living anywhere. Working is not working anywhere, and making money is not making money anywhere, right? Shi Anxin patted Shi Anxin's shoulder and said caringly, besides, when you have the ability, it's not others who make conditions for you, but you who make conditions for others. Is that so? Shi Anxin felt that her worldview had been reset. However, it seemed that this was correct. Shi Anxin, who watched Shi Anxin happily selecting the cuties to sell, reminded her again, by the way, there are still 3 days before school starts. Don't forget that you have to bring a pot of spathiphyllum that you planted yourself to the Department of Botany when school starts. Hearing this, Shi Anxin nodded immediately. Okay, time flies by so fast. What is the tail grass? Let me see. As she spoke, Shi Anxin immediately searched for the tail grass on the star network. When she saw the appearance of the tail grass, she raised her eyebrows and asked, why does the school need this thing? Shi Anxin gently stroked the tender green leaves beside him and said nonchalantly, the tail grass is the raw material for making low-level nutrient solution, and it has the highest survival rate. This is also a test that the school gives to every student admitted to the Department of Planting. What the heck? The nutrient solution I drink every day is made of this weed? Shi Anxin was a little upset. In the cultivation world, even spirit beasts wouldn't eat dogtail grass, but now it's in the interstellar space. It's being eaten by humans. Not entirely. Only low-grade nutrient solution contains 90% dogtail grass, mid-grade nutrient solution contains 50%, high-grade contains only 20%, and special grade contains only 5%. It turns out that this nutrient solution cannot be separated from the grass carpel. Shi Anxin was speechless. It has been so many days since I came to the capital planet. Shi Anxin has been practicing all day and forgot to grow some food for herself. Thinking of this, Shi Anxin immediately placed an order on Starnet, rice, wheat, vegetables, and fruits. Shi Anxin listened to Shi Anxin's mumbling. She didn't know what she thought of the nutrient solution. She only cared about the little green sprouts in front of her. They were so cute. The room was full of green plants. The air between her noses was fragrant. Her brain was also a little clearer. She wanted to sleep so much. Shi Anxin secretly glanced at the pink bed, then looked at Shi Anxin, who was placing orders frantically. She thought, she could take a break, right? Ahem, sister, let me try to see if your bed is comfortable. Shi Anxin waved her hands and said, go ahead, go ahead. She had never slept on that bed before. She usually meditated directly on the floor. Thank you, sister. With Shi Anxin's permission, Shi Anxin happily lay down. How about I take a shower first, so as not to dirty your bed? Thinking that she had just come back from outside, Shi Anxin decisively ran to her room to take a shower. Shi Anxin was still researching on the star network and didn't hear what Shi Anxin said. Shi Anxin quickly finished washing, put on her most comfortable pajamas, and lay down on Shi Anxin's bed. So comfortable. The bed under her was obviously the same as her own, but she just felt too comfortable. She relaxed and fell asleep in seconds. Shi Anxin muttered to herself, ordering this and that. The small green plant door beside the bed swayed in the wind. Shi Anxin's gentle breathing made the whole room in perfect harmony. Shi Xiaoxiao stood at the door, quietly took a photo and sent it to the group. What a warm picture at this time. Shi Anxin was just changing shifts and taking a break, and only then did he see the message in the group. When he saw the room full of emerald green, he was shocked. Shi Anxin. No, what's going on? My mom is so partial. She bought so many green plants for my sister's room. How much did it cost? Shi Anxin. I want it too. Next second, Shi Anlei. Picture a photo of a vibrant sunflower placed under heavy protection such as glass cover, energy shield, protective shield, warning tape, etc. was sent over. Shi Anlei. My sister gave it to me. It looks nice, right? But it was robbed and shared by the guys from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Woohoo. I am so miserable. Shi Anfeng. Picture a picture of emerald green rosemary, looking exceptionally dazzling in the slender palm. Shi Anyu. Picture a picture of a group of researchers in white coats, all fascinated by the sight of a mint plant that is growing well and has 6 leaves. Shi Ma. Picture in the picture, Shi's father was lying on the bed, looking thin and pale. On both sides of the bed were green plants and sunflowers sent by Shi Anxin. Shi Anxin was so shocked by the series of pictures that he didn't know where he was. Shi Anxin. The price of green plants in Capital Star has dropped, and there is no limit on the quantity of sales? Shi Anlei. And sent it to you, didn't you receive it? Shi Anxin. Isn't it so awesome? No way. You must be kidding me. Shi Anfeng at Shi Xiaoxiao. Notify the courier to intercept Lao Si's package and send it to me. Shi Anlei. Big brother. You have them all. My sunflower has been shared, so please give the 4th brothers to me. I will definitely protect it well this time. Shi Anyu. Send it to me here. They all have money. Looking at what his brothers said, Shi Anxin immediately flipped through the chat history, and only then did he realize that his new sister was so awesome. Shi Anxin. No, this is a gift from my sister. No one can steal it. Shi Anxin calculated the time and realized that his package should have arrived long ago, so he immediately ran to the place where the packages were stored. Heko, do you have my package? Shi Anxin found the package storage place and asked, wait a minute. I need to check. Please scan your light brain here, okay? After a long search and registration, Shi Anxin finally got his package in his hands. He did not open it immediately, but put it directly into the space button and calmly returned to his dormitory. Shi Anxin looked very calm, but he was secretly delighted in his heart. He was not as stupid as his 3rd brother. He didn't want such precious green plants to be shared. Buzzed, buzz, buzz. In the quiet room, a sudden sound was heard and Shi Anxin was awakened by the vibration of the computer. After opening her eyes, she was a little dazed. but still subconsciously answered the call on the computer. Shi Anxin, what are you doing? I've called you so many times. Why haven't you answered? Lin Jianma's anxious voice came from the light brain, and Shi Anxin came back to her senses at this time. I was sleeping. After looking at the time, Shi Anxin was stunned again. Sleeping? Ha 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 ha. Are you kidding me? Shi Anxin sat up and saw Shi Anxin sitting on the ground with her eyes closed. She thought Shi Anxin was sleeping on the floor because she was occupying the bed. She immediately felt overwhelmed with guilt and quickly got up to carry her sister to bed. The moment she noticed Shi Anxin approaching, she opened her eyes and said with a smile, "Good morning, sister." Shi Anxin's face was full of self-blame. "I'm sorry, Anxin. I accidentally fell asleep." "You didn't sleep all night, did you? Go to bed and get some rest." Shi Anxin shook her head. "No need to be sorry. I usually rest like this. This bed is just a decoration for me." "You." Shi Anxin felt that she must have slept for too long, and her brain was still a little slow to react. "You said you haven't been resting in bed?" Thinking of Shi Anxin's childhood experiences, Shi Anxin felt that Shi Anxin was probably not used to sleeping on this bed, so she had been sleeping on the floor for such a long time since she came back. Thinking of this, Shi Anxin felt even more guilty. She lowered her head and transferred all her pocket money to Shi Anxin. "Anxin, go buy a bed you like. Buy whatever you want. I'll give you the money." Shi Anxin knew that Shi Anxin had misunderstood her, but she was a little touched by her kindness. What should she do? Since coming to the interstellar world, many people have given her money to spend, and she doesn't have to work hard every day to make money. What should she do? If this continues, she will become greedy. Shi Anxin returned the money that Shi Anxin had transferred and looked up at Shi Anxin, who was a little nervous about the refund. "Sister, I have money. I don't sleep on the bed because I simply don't want to sleep on the bed." An Anxin was in disbelief when she saw this. She didn't know how to explain that she found meditation more comfortable than sleeping in bed. "I am not sleeping when I sit on the ground. I am practicing." Shi Anxin had an expression that said, "Keep coaxing me." Shi Anxin scratched his head and said, "Come, sit here and watch." Pulling Shi Anxin aside, he sat opposite her. Then Shi Anxin planted a strawberry seed she had bought yesterday into an empty flower pot. She then closed her eyes and quickly transferred the wood's spiritual power in her body to the seed. The next scene overturned Shi Anxin's cognition of the past 18 years. She saw with her own eyes her sister plant a tiny seed, then sit cross-legged with her hands on her knees. Then she keenly felt an unusually comfortable energy coming from her sister. Then, the seeds actually broke through the soil. 1 leaf, 0.2 leaves, 0.3 leaves. It's blooming. The flowers have fallen, and little green strawberries have grown. Oh my God, it's red. The above are all Shi Anxin's inner cries. Finally, the strawberries were ripe. Shi Anxin withdrew his spiritual power, and then quickly absorbed the spiritual energy in the air to slightly replenish the spiritual power that had just been used up. When I opened my eyes, I saw Shi Anxin standing in a daze, staring at the pot of ripe strawberries with wide eyes. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin, then looked at strawberry, then looked at Shi Anxin again, opened her mouth, and closed it again. "Shi Anxin, what happened over there? Why is there no sound?" Lin Jianma's voice came from the light brain. Only then did Shi Anxin and Shi Anxin realize that Shi Anxin had forgotten to turn off the call. Shi Anxin came back to her senses immediately and said quickly, "It's okay. I'm shopping for clothes with my sister. I'll get back to you later." After that, she hung up the phone immediately. After thinking about it, Shi Anxin cautiously turned off the computer. He took a deep breath and looked at the tiny seed. Now it had grown into 3 ripe strawberries. They must be very sweet. The sweet scent of strawberries lingered at the tip of Shi Anxin's nose, successfully diverting Shi Anxin's thoughts. Is this real? Can I eat it? Shi Anxin carefully lay down in front of the strawberry. Of course you can eat it. Try it. After Shi Anxin said that, she picked one and handed it to Shi Anxin. I picked another one and tasted it myself. Delicious. I have been here for so many days, and finally I can eat fruit. Shi Anxin looked at the strawberry in her hand with cherishment and sniffed it gently. What a nice smell. Try it. It tastes good. Although it is not as good as the spiritual fruit, It is much better than the food I bought in the restaurant on the first day. Shi Anxin took a careful bite, and instantly, the sour and sweet strawberry flavor exploded in her mouth, and her taste buds were captured by the sour and sweet strawberry. So delicious. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin with shining eyes. It's real strawberries, and they're 100 times more delicious than any strawberry I've ever eaten before. No, 1,000 times. Shi Anxin had never eaten strawberries with such rich flavor. No, not just strawberries. Even all the food she had eaten before couldn't compare to this taste. Anxin, you are amazing. How did you do it? Why did it ripen so quickly? The strawberries in the Botanical Research Institute seemed to take 3 months to ripen, and even then they added all kinds of nutrients and ripening agents. Shi Anxin tilted her head to look at Shi Anxin, thought for a moment, and asked, "Is it because of the energy in your body?" Shi Anxin raised her eyebrows. She didn't expect this sister to be so perceptive. Then she nodded. "Yes, this is another of my, how should I put it, training methods. It's different from the ones you usually train. Can I learn?" Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin expectantly. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin and said, "I'm not sure. I need to check your body to see if you have the conditions." Coming from the world of cultivation, she would of course be willing to tell the methods of cultivation, so that she would have a companion, or the same master. Haha, thinking about it this way, Shi Anxin felt extremely excited. Shi Anxin, can also establish a sect in the interstellar era. However, what happened next successfully dispelled Shi Anxin's excitement. After Anxin checked whether Shi Anxin's body had spiritual roots, she discovered that the body structure of interstellar people and people in the cultivation world was really different. It's not that the organs inside have mutated, but in order to adapt to the space environment, interstellar people have evolved their bodies many times, the most important of which is the meridians. The order of the meridians is completely disrupted from the order of people in the cultivation world, so Shi Anxin's cultivation method cannot be used at all. Of course, the interstellar people now have energy in their bodies. Their skin and muscles contain enormous energy, and their mental power is also extremely overbearing. Shi Anxin was a little disappointed when she got a negative answer, but she also knew that some things cannot be forced. Shi Anxin wondered why her body structure was the same as before. She guessed that when she first came here, this body was indeed attacked by the star beast's mental power and collapsed both inside and out. And it just so happened that her arrival gave this body life, and the body changed because of her soul. In addition, she later absorbed spiritual energy and practiced according to the previous methods. When she first started practicing, she did find that the meridians of this body were a little different, but at the time she thought it was because of an injury that had not healed. So she used her spiritual power to straighten it back. Thinking about it now, all this was really such a coincidence. Fortunately, she was able to get it back, otherwise she would not be able to practice. However, I can teach you a way to increase your mental strength. Shi Anxin. The situation took a turn for the better, and Shi Anxin became excited again when she heard this. Shi Anxin taught Shi Anxin the method of cultivating spiritual consciousness. For the next 3 days, Shi Anxin never saw Shi Anxin again. She only knew that she was studying what she had taught her in her room. Alas, I still need a piece of land. Shi Anxin felt a little melancholy as she looked at the yard, which was filled with plants, and there was no space left to plant other plants. The yard is still too small. Xiao, is there any vacant land for sale in the capital star? Xiao was watering the plants in the yard, Miss Anxin, because the capital planet is the most prosperous and bustling planet in the Federation. The residential buildings basically occupy 40% of the area. Commercial assets occupy 20% of the area, and various research institutes. Basically, the planet's resources are already saturated. Shi Anxin nodded. What about other planets? Except for planets above Class B galaxies. Shi Anxin looked at the galaxy map projected by Xiao. The Federation was centered on the capital star, and the galaxies scattered in all directions were named A to Y. This means that the galaxies in the front are of high level, and the levels in the back are low, and the planets are relatively poor in terms of their capabilities and resources. Then if I buy a low-level planet, how many star coins will it cost? After saying this, Shi Anxin felt a little inflated. According to the latest selling price of Federation planets, A planet in the lowest level Y galaxy will cost about 10 billion star coins. Shi Xiaoxiao told Shi Anxin what she had found. 1 billion. Shi Anxin looked at her account. 7 figures. Moreover, none of this money was hers. All of it was given by her family. Shi Anxin took a deep breath and looked at the green plants in the yard. It seems that I still have to rely on you to make money. Xiao, I want to sell green plants to others. What should I do? Shi Xiaoxiao immediately turned on the projection screen. Mizanon, you can open a store on Star Online, take photos of the plants you want to sell, and set the price. Shi Anxin acted immediately, and with the help of Shi Xiaoxiao, she successfully opened a store on Star Network called My Green Plants. Shi Anxin excitedly began taking pictures of the plants in the yard from various angles, preparing to open the business immediately. However, Shi Xiaoxiao told me that I would have to wait 3 days for the back-end review before I could put the products up for sale. In order to protect the confidentiality of Shi Anxin's personal information, Shi Xiaoxiao upgraded the confidentiality of Shi Anxin's information to SSS level, so that it is difficult for others to find Shi Anxin's information. And have you packed your things? Shi Anxin finally came out of the room. Today is the first day of school. Shi Anxin prepared everything early and waited to go to school with Shi Anxin. She had lived for such a long time, but she had never experienced campus life. When she was in the cultivation world, because of her poor aptitude and poor cultivation of the master who taught her, she was left to practice on her own during every class. Therefore, Shi Anxin is very much looking forward to campus life. Everything is packed. Are we ready to go? Shi Anxin's face was full of anticipation. Shi Anxin was also in a very good mood, and her eyes were full of gratitude when she looked at Shi Anxin. She trained her mental power according to the method her sister told her. Although it was only for 3 days, she found that her mental power had become stronger. She believed that as long as she persisted in this method, her mental strength would definitely break through a plus. Let's go. Let's report to school. Shi Anxin drove the family's aircraft and took Shi Anxin to Capital Star University. Hurry up. Shi Anxin was still shocked when she saw the aircraft soaring into the air with a whoosh. It is so convenient, much more convenient than flying in the clouds in the world of cultivation. In the world of cultivation, one can only fly in the air by oneself after reaching the golden core stage, and even then one must have enough spiritual power to support the flight. Shi Anxin smiled at the curious Shi Anxin and said, "Do you want to drive? I can teach you how to drive. It will be more convenient for you to go anywhere in the future." When Shi Anxin heard this, she immediately turned her head and asked, "Can I learn it too?" "Of course you can, but you will need to get a driver's license, otherwise you will be fined by the Star Police on the road." Shi Anxin also gave Shi Anxin some general knowledge about traffic safety on the capital planet. It's so troublesome. Shi Anxin felt a headache when he heard about the test items and traffic rules. "It's okay. I'll take you to take the exam when I have time. I'll accompany you then." Shi Anxin comforted. After hearing this, Shi Anxin was deeply moved. She knew that Shi Anxin had split her time into 8 parts every day to train in order to become stronger, and now she was willing to sacrifice her training time to accompany her to take the exam. "Thank you, sister. We'll talk about it later. I may not take the exam." Shi Anxin's current goal is to work hard to earn money to buy a small planet. Then, she would plant plants all over this planet, where she would live in her old age. By then, she would be the master of this planet. As for a driver's license, she wouldn't even need one. Ha 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 ha, just thinking about it makes me happy. And in? Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin, who was smiling a little bit obscenely, in confusion, not knowing what she was thinking about. Are we there yet? Shi Anxin came back to her senses. Shi Anxin looked up and said, "We're here." Drop. "It's Mom." Shi Anxin saw the communication pop up on the computer and quickly answered it. "Anan, Xian, have you left for school?" Shi's mother's gentle face appeared in the communication. Shi Anxin was also excited when she saw her mother. She hadn't seen her mother for a long time. "Mom, Anan and I have already arrived at school." Shi Anxin also nodded. "My sister brought me here in a flying vehicle." Mother Shi was very pleased to see her 2 daughters getting along harmoniously. "Well, let's meet again when you come back from vacation next time. Dad and I are going to live back home. You can see us when you come back from vacation next time." "What? Really? Mom, Dad, can we go home now? Shi Anxin was shocked when she heard this. She knew her father's condition. Because his mental strength was broken, he would often have uncontrollable outbursts and unconsciously hurt the people around him. That is why anyone coming down from the battlefield, if their mental strength is unstable, will be admitted to a sanatorium. It's better to say that he is being recuperated there than to say that he is being locked up in disguise to prevent him from hurting others. Moreover, if it gets out of control and hurts innocent people, the end result will be euthanasia. Yes, your father has woken up and his condition has improved a little. We decided to go home and stay for a while to give it a try. At this point, Shi's mother looked at Shi Anxin with tears in her eyes. Thank you, Anxin. Shi Anxin was confused and didn't understand what her mother meant. Shi Anxin also looked at Shi Anxin, but in an instant, she figured it out. It's the green plants. Shi's mother smiled and nodded. Yes, because of the green plants that in an instant, your father's mental strength has stabilized. He just woke up this morning, so we discussed it and decided to go home and stay for a while to see how the situation is. Because the yard at home was full of plants planted by Shi Anxin, Shi's father and mother decided to go home and try to see if they could control Shi's father's mental power in the home environment. Shi Anxin understood. You're welcome, Mom. You can go home. Let Dad exercise in the yard every day. It will be good for him. The current environment is indeed helpful to Shi's father's condition. When she left this morning, she also specially transferred some spiritual power to each green plant to make them grow better. With the support of spiritual power, the green plants will also emit spiritual energy, which is beneficial to the health of the people living in the Shi family. As for whether Shi's father's mental breakdown can be cured in the end, Shi Anxin is not sure. Thank you, Anxin. Shi Anxin's heart was filled with gratitude and excitement, and she held Shi Anxin's hand tightly. She was very grateful to her sister because her father woke up and was able to go home. Where's Dad? Shi's mother wiped her tears and said, he is undergoing an examination. After the examination is completed, we will go home. Okay, Mom. When we have the holiday, Anxin and I will go home. Shi Anxin said happily. Well, we'll wait for you to come back. Shi's mother was also very happy. Finally, Shimu told the two not to tell anyone else about the news, because they were still unsure about some things and couldn't let the news leak out. Otherwise, she was afraid that something unexpected would happen. There are too many people in the Federation and even in the Empire who have mental breakdowns or problems, and she doesn't want her daughter to be in any danger. The three of them hung up the phone with excitement. They were both looking forward to going home to see their parents during the holidays. It's a pity that school has just started. Xin, why don't you come out? Lin Jinma's voice came from outside, interrupting the excitement of the two. Lin Jinma looked at the Shi family's aircraft anxiously. As soon as he saw the Shi family's aircraft stopped, he knew that Xin was coming. But he had been waiting here for 10 minutes, and the people upstairs had not come out yet, so he couldn't help feeling a little nervous. He has seen Xin once since the end of the training camp, and it was because Xin was holding some green plant leaves for testing. Afterwards, he wanted to go find Xin, but Xin wouldn't let him go. Thinking of this, Lin Jinma felt aggrieved. Shi Anxin wiped her tears, tidied Shi Anxin's hair, and said softly, let's go downstairs. When the holiday comes, we'll go home together. Shi Anxin smiled and nodded. Okay, Xin. When Lin Jinma saw the door of the aircraft open, his eyes lit up and he hurried to go up. What are you doing here? We are going down. Shi Anxin pushed Lin Jinma, who had just stepped onto the aircraft, down again. Shi Anxin looked at the baby-faced boy in front of her with curiosity. Lin Jinma stood beside Shi Anxin with grievance. I haven't seen you for a long time. Are you anxious? You don't let me go to your house, and you don't come out when I asked you out. Shi Anxin rolled her eyes, ignored the person who was muttering beside her, and introduced to Shi Anxin. This is Lin Jinma, my friend. This is my sister. And then Shi Anxin said, glancing at Lin Jinma as if giving a warning. Lin Jinma received the reassuring look and immediately smiled. You are Xin's sister. Hecko, you can just call me Brother Imo. Your sister and I grew up together, and we have a great relationship. You want my sister to call you Brother Imo? Shi Anxin glared at Lin Jinma. You are 1 month younger than Inan. What do you mean by brother? He turned around and said gently, Inan, Just call him by his name. Let's go in. I'll take you to the botanical department first. No need, sister. I can do it myself. You guys should report to the mecha department quickly. Everyone should report today. There will be a lot of people here soon. You guys should go quickly. I have a navigation. As she said that, Shi Anxin raised the school navigation that her fourth brother sent her last night. But this is your first time here. Shi Anxin was worried. Lin Jima on the side said, it's everyone's first time. It's our first time too. Don't worry, and then we'll be fine. Besides, there are few freshmen in the Department of Plants, so we don't have to queue up. But it's different for our Department of Mechas. There are so many people. We have to hurry, otherwise we will have to queue until noon. There are also tests in the afternoon. Hearing this, Shi Anxin immediately urged Shi Anxin to report to the mecha department as soon as possible, saying that there would be no problem for her to report on her own. Okay then, contact me if you have anything. I'm leaving first. Shi Anxin quickly instructed her sister and was then pulled away by Lin Jinma. After watching the two people leave, Shi Anxin looked around. The first university of Capital Star is the best university in the Federation. There are 4 universities in the Federation. In addition to the first University of Capital Star, there are 3 other universities, namely Tami University, on planet C01, Hunga University, on planet F01, and Shinmin University, on planet K01. Today is the registration day for all major schools, and it only lasts for 1 day. So today there are aircraft flying in and out of the school gates, and students are arriving in an endless stream. Shi Anxin looked at the diverse, young, and energetic students, and her heart also became active. The freshmen around quickly ran to their respective colleges, and some flew away directly on flying skateboards. Because there is only 1 day to report, and after reporting, some departments will require testing on some projects before dividing you into classes. Among a group of fast-running freshmen, only Shi Anxin seemed a little out of place. However, when everyone saw the tail grass in her hand, they understood that she was from the plant department. No wonder she was not in a hurry. Shi Anxin followed the navigation slowly, and the more she walked, the fewer people she met, until Botanical Department. The 4 characters were hung on a green building, with a carving of tail grass next to it. Shi Anxin. Since when did dogtail grass become a symbol? When I entered the building, I saw a few tables in the lobby on the first floor and 3 seniors wearing emerald green uniforms with the logo of the Capital Star First University printed on their chests. When Su Zihu looked up, he saw a freshman coming in, and the first thing he saw was the grass in the girl's hand. Heko, Junior, are you here to report? Su Zihu quickly put down the things in his hands and walked quickly towards the tail grass. Oh no, Shi Anxin, his eyes fixed on the tail grass. Yes, I'm here to report. As he spoke, Shi Anxin held the tail grass in one hand and retrieved his notice from the light brain with the other. Seeing the precious tail grass being held casually by Shi Anxin, Su Zihu hurriedly protected it with both hands, fearing that Shi Anxin would drop it. Shi Anxin looked at the senior with gratitude and said, "Thank you, senior. It's okay. It won't fall off." As she said that, she raised the palm-sized small flower pot filled with scallopax in her hand. Careful. Seeing the tail grass being swung gently as Shi Anxin moved, Su Zihu looked at the tail grass swaying left and right with heartache. Shi Anxin stopped. Okay, she understood. It turned out that this senior brother was concerned about this tail grass. Oh, your tail grass is so beautiful. Another senior sister also came over, and her eyes were also attracted by Shi Anxin's tail grass. The last senior also put down what he was holding and came over. Junior, we need to check the condition of your tail grass first. Su Zihu stared at the tail grass. Shi Anxin raised her eyebrows and looked at the tail grass in her hand. There was nothing special about it. She had cultivated 10 tail grasses, and this one was just picked by her at random. It was no different from the other 9. Shi Anxin handed the tail grass in her hand to her senior. Su Zihu carefully held the tail grass in both hands, and the other 2 immediately came over. This Ophiophagon is growing very well. The senior student carefully scanned it with the scanner. Huh. Li Sini looked at the scanner in confusion. What's wrong? Su Zihu put on gloves and stroked the leaves gently. Li Sini didn't say anything and scanned again. The result was still the same as last time. She was pleasantly surprised. This tail grass doesn't have any toxins at all. Moreover, the plant is in very good condition. The internal cells are very active. There is no virus infection and no pathogenic organisms eroding it. In short, the quality of this tail grass must have reached S grade. Su Zihu and Yu Jie looked at the scanner results in shock. The three of them carefully scanned the grass again and got the same result. The more Li Sini looked at it, the more she liked it. Look at this tail grass. It's all green. Because it's healthy, its leaves and stems are very thick and strong. The flower spikes on the top are green with purple and very full. The three of them surrounded a tiny piece of tail grass and carefully examined it, not missing any small details. They were just about to take the tail grass to the laboratory for detailed study. Junior, your Ophiophagon is so perfect. How did you grow it? Yu Jie looked at Shi Anxin with surprise, who was standing beside him with a puzzled look on her face. Shi Anxin? Su Zihu and Li Sini saw Shi Anxin with a puzzled look on her face. They looked at each other and thought that either this junior girl was gifted, or she had bought it from a master. The entrance examination for the Department of Botany is called an examination, but it also has a big loophole, because the school requires every new student in the Department of Botany to bring a plant of the genus Acaranthes that they have cultivated themselves. However, because they are bred under school supervision, many freshmen take advantage of the situation and buy them from other places and pass them off as their own. There are often quite a few freshmen who do this. Of course, many of them are exposed on the reporting day and drop out, but there are also some who manage to hide it by luck. So, Su Zihu and the other two began to question Shi Anxin about the tail grass. Schoolgirl, what kind of grass is this of yours? Where did you buy the seeds? Please show me your purchase records. What was the condition of the seeds when you got them? What was the growth environment like? What was the pH of the soil? What nutrients and chemicals were used during the process? Shi Anxin sat in front of the three seniors, listening to the various questions raised by the three in amazement. She was shocked. Is there so much to pay attention to when planting a dogtail grass? After Su Zihu and the other two finished their questions, they looked at Shi Anxin seriously. Do I have to answer all of these? Shi Anxin asked. God knows she has always relied on her feelings when growing things. In the world of cultivation, where are the plant nutrients, medicines, ripening agents, pesticides, etc.? Su Zihu saw that Shi Anxin didn't want to answer, so he said gently, yes, junior sister, the school also wants to prevent some freshmen from buying tail grass from others in order to enroll, so before enrolling, every freshman needs to describe in detail the process of cultivating their own tail grass. Of course, if you mind, we can also sign an agreement that we will never disclose your method of cultivating tail grass. Shi Anxin shook her head. That's not necessary, it's just that. The tail grass I cultivated is a little simple, Su Zihu and the other two? Shi Anxin pulled up the video she had recorded. Want to watch it from the unboxing? Su Zihu and the other two. Open the box? Shi Anxin nodded. Yes, I want to prove that this tail grass was cultivated by me. So let's start from receiving the package. Fortunately, Xiao Xiao reminded her that she should write down all the homework assigned by the school just in case. So this video is a small record, recording the entire process from the moment she received the package to the germination and growth of the tail grass. Now it's a good opportunity to prove myself. With this video, I don't have to answer all the questions just now. Haha. Shi Anxin gave herself a thumbs up and gave Shi Xiao Xiao a big thumbs up. Shi Anxin turned the video to the beginning, and Shi Anxin's figure appeared on the screen. Then Su Zihu and the other two saw Shi Anxin taking the package from the door, and then, wait a minute. Su Zihu suddenly stood up and looked at a corner of the video in shock. What is this? Su Zihu asked tremblingly, his eyes wide open, pointing at a spot of red at Shi Anxin's feet in the video. What? Yu Jie and Li Sini looked at where Su Zihu was pointing and their eyes suddenly widened. Roses. Red. Yu Jie and Li Sini also trembled. Shi Anxin took a look and saw that it was indeed a rose. What a mistake. When she passed by the yard, Xiao Xiao had concealed the surrounding environment and only left her own image. She didn't pay attention when she walked away. Her feet slipped over the roses and she accidentally entered the door. Some of the roses that she had raised for the first time have already bloomed with the blessing of her spiritual power, including the one that Shi Anxin loved, which Shi Anxin couldn't let go. This time when school started, she happily brought her pot of roses to school. It has double petals. Look, its color is deep red, and the shape of the petals is very perfect. Although it hasn't fully bloomed yet, this half-open state is even more beautiful. Licini stared at the rose with only half of its flower exposed with eyes full of obsession. There is no woman in the world who does not love flowers, let alone the rose, which is known as the gem among flowers. Junior, where is this? The botanical garden? Or the research institute? Yujia asked in a flattering manner. Su Zihu regained his composure, grabbed his friend beside him, and when he looked at Shi Anxin again, his eyes had changed. Judging from the appearance of that half-rose, it was at least S-grade if not a grade. This schoolgirl was able to get close to it, and it was a rose without a protective shield. Su Zihu quickly weighed the options in his mind, and pulled Licini and Yujia back to their seats. Sorry, Junior, we were abrupt. Please continue. Licini and Yujia also came to their senses. They were not stupid. They had thought of what Su Zihu had thought of. When they looked at Shi Anxin again, there was respect and admiration in their eyes. They speculated that Shi Anxin should be the child of a master in the plant world, and if this tail grass was cultivated by Shi Anxin himself, then Shi Anxin's talent would probably make him famous in the plant world and even in the Federation. Shi Anxin smiled and took the initiative to explain. This is indeed a rose that just bloomed. My housekeeper accidentally recorded it. I'm sorry. After saying that, she immediately concealed the red color. Shi Anxin's words made the three of them more certain of their guesses. Shi Anxin didn't know what the three people were thinking, because this video should be handed in to prevent others from seeing the rose doing something wrong, so she simply used tools to hide it. The video continued to play, starting with Shi Anxin opening the package and taking out the seeds, and then the three of them saw Shi Anxin casually planting the seeds in the pots. I watered it casually and covered it with soil. Just leave it there and ignore it, and then a magical scene appeared. The seeds broke through the soil, showing tender buds, and then grew little by little, heading, and matured. Finally, they saw with their own eyes that Shi Anxin randomly picked a plant from a bunch of tail grass and transplanted it into a small flower pot. The three looked at the tail grass in front of them. Yes, it was this one. Unexpectedly, it was not a unique one, but an ordinary one among the 10 tail grasses. The three looked at Shi Anxin woodenly, opened their mouths, but didn't know what to say. They were a little confused. Can this video prove that this is the tail grass that I cultivated? Shi Anxin asked. Su Zihu came back to his senses and nodded. Okay, then, can I sign up? Shi Anxin closed the video and looked at the time. Yes, sure. Su Zihu quickly took out the form and took a deep breath. We have just seen your scutularia. It belongs to the thick spike scutularia family. It has good growth and good appearance. Su Zihu filled out the form quickly, and Licini beside him hurriedly recorded the results of the scan. Yujia was responsible for taking pictures and downloading Shi Anxin's video. Oh, by the way, I have another question. We just watched the growth process of the tail grass. Junior sister, how long does it take for this tail grass to grow? Shi Anxin glanced at the three people who were eager to learn, thinking that you just watched the video, that 1 minute is the time it takes for them to grow. But if I said 1 minute, they might not believe it, so I just said a random time. 1. Shi Anxin started. Oh, okay. 1 month. Su Zihu nodded. This growth rate is pretty fast. Shi Anxin. 1 week. Okay. How long you say it will take? Then Su Zihu quickly entered Shi Anxin's information, added her as a friend, and added her to a class group. My name is Su Zihu, and I'm a junior in the Department of Botany. These two are Licini and Yujia. The three of us are the class mentors for the freshmen this year. If you have any questions about your studies, you can come to me. If you have any problems in your life, you can come to Senior Li. Well, you can come to me for other small matters, haha, Yujia added. Shi Anxin nodded. I understand. Seniors, you are the first freshmen to arrive in our botany department today. All the dormitories are empty now. Please quickly choose one you like. Licini handed the dormitory card to Shi Anxin, and explained some things to pay attention to in the dormitory. After completing all the formalities, Shi Anxin received 4 sets of school uniforms exclusively for the Department of Botany and 1 set of military training uniforms. After registering today, you can rest in the dormitory. Gather in the classroom at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I will send a notification in the class group in the evening, so please pay attention. Su Zihu handed the school badge to Shi Anxin and reminded her. Shi Anxin nodded. Okay, senior. I'll go to the dormitory first. Well, bye, schoolgirl. Goodbye, seniors. Shi Anxin turned and left. Hey, junior, your tail grass. Yu Jie saw the tail grass on the table and shouted hurriedly. After hearing this, Shi Anxin turned back in surprise and asked, Don't we have to hand this in? No, you cultivated it yourself. The school has no right to take it. Oh, okay. Shi Anxin was a little helpless. She really didn't want this tail grass. Picking up the tail grass, Shi Anxin found that the 3 people's eyes were closely following the tail grass in her hand. Shi Anxin thought about it and said hesitantly, Do you want tail grass? Although it's useless. Yes. The 3 of them looked at Shi Anxin with shining eyes, afraid that she would refuse. If you don't mind. I don't dislike it at all. How could I dislike it? How dare I dislike it? This is an S-level tail grass. Yu Jie shouted. Shi Anxin was a little confused. In the world of cultivation, this dogtail grass was useless. It would only compete with spiritual plants for spiritual energy and territory. Of course, there are also senior brothers and sisters who are engaged in alchemy who may sometimes need 1 or 2 dogtail grasses as medicine, but they are usually plucked and given away for free and are not worth anything at all. Although she didn't understand, Shi Anxin respected him. Shi Anxin took out a pot of Smilax china from the space button. This was grown from the original tin seeds. You pick 2 more. Shi Anxin said generously. Su Zihu and the other 2 were caught off guard and stunned by the large pot of lush sedge in front of them. Of course they recognized this pot of tail grass. They are the brothers and sisters of the tail grass that was pulled out at random. Su Zihu and the other 2 immediately surrounded it like wolves. This one is good. I want this one. The ear of this one is almost ripe. When it is ripe, I will use its seeds to cultivate some more tail grass. I wonder if I can cultivate S-level tail grass. If I can grow an S-rank tail grass, I'll be able to graduate perfectly next year. At this point, Li Sini looked at Shi Anxin with a sharp gaze. Junior sister, can I use your mother spike to cultivate new tail grass for my graduation project? Shi Anxin shrugged. Sure. I just provided the seeds. Of course, because of the blessing of spiritual energy, the seeds of her tail grass must be different from ordinary seeds. The germination rate is high, the survival rate is high, and the appearance is better than ordinary ones. I am sure that I can graduate. Thank you, junior sister. Li Sini was extremely grateful when she heard Shi Anxin's words. From now on, whether I am in school or not, as long as you need me, I will definitely help you. Li Sini said, patting her chest. And me. In school, the seniors will protect you. Yu Jie also said quickly. Ahem, junior, thank you very much for your tail grass. You may not know it because you are just entering school, but your tail grass is already S-level. Usually, professors in our botany department are more. Su Zihu thought for a moment and said tactfully, it is relaxed and gives students a lot of freedom and autonomy. Apart from classes and assessments, they can allocate their time freely. As long as you can cultivate plants above grade A by the time you graduate, you can graduate successfully. So, your tail grass is of great help to us. Thank you, junior sister. Su Zihu was also very grateful. Good seeds can produce good seedlings. This is an eternal law. It is easy to pass the entrance exam, but difficult to enroll in their botany department. My time at school was much more comfortable than that of students from other departments. There was no life-threatening training, no various physical tests, and no fatal attacks from the instructors. However, it is very difficult to graduate successfully. Those who have money can buy a grade and S-grade seeds from masters, but for those from average families like them, it is very difficult to come across good seeds. It is even more difficult to cultivate plants of good quality. Therefore, there are many students in the Department of Botany who cannot graduate. In order to graduate, these students all embarked on a journey to find seeds. The three of them selected the telltale grasses, and after Shi Anxin helped transplant them, they left. After Shi Anxin left, Su Zihu and the other two carefully protected their tail grass with a protective shield and then placed it in the space button. After putting the tail grass away, the three of them breathed a sigh of relief. The three of them looked at each other with joy on their faces. Originally, the professor asked them to be responsible for leading the freshmen this year, and they were a little unhappy. Who knew that on the first day, they would be given such a big surprise? Before the new students arrived, the three of them discussed it. Although Shi Shuame gave them 3 tail grasses, they couldn't be so shameless. An S-grade tail grass costs 1 million star coins on the market. The three of them looked at their wallets, feeling a little embarrassed. Su Zihu's face turned slightly red, and he felt very embarrassed, but the three of them had average family conditions, and they usually cultivated some low-grade green plants for sale, but buying seeds and cultivating seeds were still like a money-eating beast. Forced by the current situation, the three of them emptied their pockets and finally came up with 500,000 star coins. Li Sini covered her face with laughter. It's only 500,000, not even enough for the price of a tail grass. Yu Jia also had a sad face, who said it wasn't true. 3 pills would cost 3 million. Well, that's it. We will always remember the kindness of our junior sister, and will definitely repay her when we have the chance in the future. Su Zihu transferred the money to Shi Anxin and added a sentence. Junior sister, this is a small gift from the three of us. I hope you can accept it. As I said before, if you need anything from us in the future, please let me know. Li Sini, Yu Jia and I will definitely help you with all our strength. When Anan arrived at the dormitory building, he saw the message from his senior, thought about it, and accepted it. Okay, senior, I'll take it. Don't feel any burden in your heart. This is a gift from me to you. Shi Anxin squinted her eyes happily as she looked at the 500,000 yuan that came in. She didn't expect to have money coming in on the first day of school. This brought her one step closer to 1 billion. Seeing Shi Anxin accept the money, Su Zihu and the other two breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. They were afraid that the schoolgirl would be angry and feel that they were insulting her. Okay, let's clean up. A new student will be here soon. Su Zihu turned off the star brain and said easily. Okay. Li Sini and Yu Jia were also full of joy. They quickly cleaned up the table and prepared to welcome the next new student. Here, Anan has already chosen a dormitory. The dormitories at Capital Star First University are for 2 people per room. In fact, the layout of each dormitory is the same, with a public living room in the middle and 2 bedrooms on the left and right sides. The dormitory is fully equipped with sofas, tables, and beds in the bedrooms, all of which are already made up. Students only need to bring clothes when they arrive. Well, of course this is just Shi Anxin's own opinion, not what everyone else thinks. Shi Anxin looked at the dormitory. Both sides were exactly the same. She didn't choose one. She felt that any one of them would be fine. It was just a place to rest. It was much more comfortable than her previous thatched hut. She knew that some people had their own habits, and some people like to choose things on the left or right. Shi Anxin didn't understand, but she respected it. So she didn't choose a room directly, but sat on the sofa in the living room and waited for her roommates to come and choose first. Anan, have you finished signing up? Shi Anxin saw the message sent by Shi Anxin and replied, the report is over. I'm in the dormitory now. How about you? While waiting in line, Shi Anxin replied to her sister, I'm not here yet. There are 4 people in front of me. It will be their turn soon. I can't come to see you today because we have a physical fitness test later. Okay, everything is going well on my end. Don't worry. Okay, tell me what's going on. If someone bullies you, remember it and wait for your sister to help you deal with him. Okay, sister. Seeing her sister's obedient reply, Shi Anxin showed a warm smile on her face. Lin Jinma, who was standing by, felt a pang of annoyance when he saw this. Tsk. When did our ice beauty's smile become so worthless? Who is she talking to? Let me see. Hearing Lin Jinma's words, Shi Anxin immediately put away her smile and looked at Lin Jinma coldly. My sister. Lin Jinma. It turns out that my previous worries were all in vain. I thought you would feel uncomfortable and bullied when she came, but you ended up sticking to her. Humph. Shi Anxin looked at Lin Jinma with amusement. You don't understand. An honest, very good. Really? Thinking of what Anan said that day, Shi Anxin felt her heart swell up. Ever since she was old enough to understand, she knew her life experience. Although her parents and brothers treated her like their own daughter, she always had some resentment in her heart. And what Anan said that day suddenly made her sober up. Yes, no one blamed her, so why did she torture herself? Anan also gave me a gift. I'll show it to you when I have time. After you see it, you will definitely envy me, Shi Anxin said confidently. Lin Jinma had a look of disbelief on his face. He didn't know what kind of gifts someone from a marginal star could bring out. He wouldn't be envious or jealous. However, when Lin Jinma saw the roses that Shi Anxin took out, Lin Jinma's face burst into tears. Shi family. Welcome home, sir and madam. Shi Xiaoxiao greeted Shi's father and mother respectfully. Shi's mother pushed Shi's father in a wheelchair and stood in the yard, her eyes full of shock. So beautiful. In fact, she had seen it in photos, but it was not as shocking as experiencing it in person and seeing it with her own eyes. Father Shi's face was pale, and he looked at the plants in the yard with joy in his eyes. Green plants, tender yellow sunflowers, bright and dazzling roses. Father Shi, who had been suffering from mental torture and a constant headache, felt relief the moment he entered the yard. The scent of mint, rosemary, and roses filled his nostrils, and these smells gently healed his headache. It's really beautiful. It seems that An's talent is much better than mine. Shi's father was very pleased, but also felt sad, because of his negligence, his daughter missed out on being with him for so many years. Shi's mother lowered her head to look at her husband and said, Yes, look at this rose. It is much more beautiful than the one you gave me, and it smells better too. As she spoke, Shi's mother greedily sniffed the fragrance of the rose. He teased, If you had given me this kind of roses, I would have agreed to your pursuit without hesitation. Ha 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 ha. Hearing what his wife said, Shi's father smiled and shook his head. So it's my fault. I didn't learn the skills well enough and didn't have enough talent. The roses I cultivated were not pretty or fragrant. I almost couldn't marry my beloved wife. It's my fault. Shi's mother burst out laughing, and she looked very happy. Father Shi looked at his haggard wife with eyes full of pity. For the past 5 years, he had been in a coma and had been suffering from mental breakdown, but he was conscious. He knew that his wife had always been taking care of him and had never left him. He also knew that because of his unstable mental strength, he often hurt his wife, leaving her body covered with scars. He also knew that his wife had never given up on him. With a wife like this, what more could a husband ask for? Thank you, honey. Mother Shi looked back at her husband, her eyes full of love. You're welcome. If you really want to thank me, get better soon. After hearing this, Mr. Shi looked at the vibrant green plants around him and answered firmly, Okay, he definitely would. The two of them, one standing and one sitting, stayed in the yard for a long time. They carefully appreciate every green plant and every flower. In 5 years, they have never felt so relaxed. By the way, I haven't given Anan a gift yet. Suddenly, Shi's father remembered that his little daughter had come home. Everyone had given her gifts, but he didn't because he was in a coma. Shi's mother tilted her head and looked at her husband. So what are you going to give our daughter? Father Shi's pale and thin face actually had a hint of redness at this moment. When Mother Shi saw this, she couldn't help but feel anticipation and joy in her heart. Shi Xiaoxiao, who had been silent, interrupted immediately after hearing this. Yesterday, Miss Anan registered a store on Xinguang. She plans to sell green plants on it to make money. Make money? Shi's father and mother asked in unison. Isn't it short of money? Asked Shi's mother. Shi Xiaoxiao shook her head. Yes, there is a great shortage. Because Miss Anan wants to buy a planet, and she said she wants to plant green plants on the planet. Buy a planet. Mother Shi understood, then looked at her husband and raised her eyebrows. Look, your gift is here. Haha, indeed. Father Shi immediately looked through the assets under his name and said, Come on, wife, let's pick one together to give to Anan, okay? But I feel that Anan will be happy no matter which one you give her. Of course, my daughter. Shi's father looked proud. On the other side, Shi Anxin finally waited for her roommate. a petite girl with a very sweet look and a seemingly lively personality. Heko, how are you? Wow, you are so beautiful. Shi Lele walked into the dormitory and saw Shi Anxin for the first time. For some reason, she felt inexplicably close to her. My name is Shi Lele. Can I live here? Shi Lele looked at Shi Anxin expectantly. Shi Anxin smiled and nodded. Of course, welcome. My name is Shi Anxin. Your last name is also Shi? Shi Lele was surprised. The Shi of time. Shi Anxin explained and looked at Shi Lele, not knowing which Shi she was. I also. My name is Shi as in stone, huh? Shi Lele scratched his head, looking a little annoyed, muttering in his heart. Maybe we were from the same family in our previous life, both with the last name Shi. Ha 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 ha. Looking at Shi Lele, who was laughing happily, Shi Anxin couldn't help but laugh too. Seeing Shi Anxin smile, Shi Lele scratched his head in even more confusion. Don't mention it. You look a lot like my family. At this time, Shi Anxin also looked at Shi Lele, and she felt a sense of intimacy in her heart, but when it comes to appearance, there is nothing similar between the two of them. Seeing that and didn't believe it, Shi Lele quickly explained, Really? You look like my uncle. I look like my mother. When Shi Anxin heard what Shi Lele said, she was moved and asked, Do you have a photo of your uncle? Can I see how similar he is? Shi Lele choked, thinking of his father's 800 times warning this morning. He could only shake his head in discouragement. No. Then we may have a chance to meet each other in the future. Maybe we are really related. Shi Anxin felt that her feeling was generally not wrong. She really felt that there was some kinship between her and this girl. Shi Lele was a little hesitant. If there is a chance. I don't know if my uncle still has a chance to wake up. Alas, I hope there is a chance. Which room do you live in? Shi Lele couldn't help but look towards the room on the left. Shi Anxin noticed it and said with a smile, I haven't chosen yet. You choose. I don't care where I live. Shi Lele was very happy when he heard it, and immediately hugged Shi Anxin. Thank you, Anxin. You smell so good. So comfortable. I originally wanted to give her a hug to express my gratitude, but now Shi Lele is hanging on Shi Anxin and doesn't want to get down at all. TSK. What are you two doing? It's immoral. Suddenly, a disgusted voice came from the door. Shi Anxin and Shi Lele turned their heads and saw a tall girl with a queen-like look, crossing her arms and looking at them with disgust. Shi Lele got off Shi Anxin unwillingly. What's so immoral about that? I think you're just jealous of our relationship. We're just friends. Shi Anxin also explained, Yes, classmate. Please don't misunderstand. Lin Miao glanced at the two of them arrogantly, said Deke, turned around and left. Hey, why are you so rude? Are you crazy? Shi Lele was angry and wanted to chase after him to reason with him. Shi Anxin grabbed Shi Lele and said, Don't reason with such people. It will only make you angry. Some people like to make preconceived decisions. Can we stop them? Lin Miao turned around quickly. Who are you calling crazy? You are the ones who are crazy. It's obviously you two. Bang. Shi Anxin closed the door with a cold face and turned on the soundproofing of the room. Then the two of them could no longer hear any sound from outside. Okay, let's go choose a room. Shi Lele was still angry. Students with this kind of personality are unlucky. Okay, don't be angry. There are thousands of things and thousands of people. Just be yourself. Shi Anxin comforted. When she was in the cultivation world in her previous life, she met all kinds of people. Who can guarantee that she is like a fairy weapon and loved by everyone? What's more, there are people who don't like immortal weapons. I live in the room on the left. Okay, I'll live in the room on the right. After choosing the room, the two went into their respective rooms and began to pack their daily belongings. Shi Anxin took out the things her sister prepared for her from the space button. From bed sheets and quilt covers to cups and toothbrushes. Everything is available. Drop. A message popped up. Shi Anxin clicked it and took a look at it. Her eyes widened. Dear Ms. Shernan, Heko, at 10:13 on August 31st, 5021. Mr. Shi Jingguang transferred the H11 planet under his name to you. Please check it. Thank you. Shi Anxin? What's going on? Who is Shi Jingguang? Oh, it seems to be her father. Ding. A message came, and Shi Anxin opened it quickly. An N. I'm your dad. Welcome home. I didn't get you a gift because you were in a coma before, so I'll make up for it now. I hope you can do whatever you like in the future. Go ahead and do it boldly, because you have your dad by your side." Just a few words made Shi Anxin's eyes red. It's so strange. Why have I become more and more emotional after coming here? Shi Anxin rubbed his eyes and murmured, "Thank you, Dad. I like this gift very much." Shi Anxin thought for a long time before replying these words. She wanted to say something, but she was a little embarrassed. She had no relatives in her previous life, but she had family in this life. For now, this feeling is very good. In just half a month, she felt the warmth of her family. Although everyone was busy and couldn't meet, she could feel everyone's consideration, care, and respect for her. Father Shi was also very happy to receive his daughter's reply. When Shi's mother saw her husband's worthless smile, she knew it must be a message from an. "By the way, now that you're awake, do you want to tell your brothers?" Instantly, Shi's father's smile faded. "Humph, didn't you kick me out in the first place? It doesn't matter whether I wake up or not, or whether they know about it or not." Seeing her husband's angry look, Shi's mother said with a smile, "When you were unconscious, my eldest brother often came to see you and used a lot of connections to transfer you back to the capital planet. Otherwise, given the situation at the time, Shi's mother didn't want to talk about what happened back then. Anyway, it was in the past. Although they kicked you out of the Shi family in the beginning, they didn't just turn a blind eye to your situation. When you got into trouble, the Shi family found out immediately and arranged for someone to come over. Moreover, the Shi family also took care of the children's affairs to some extent. You should bow your head to your elder brother and admit your mistakes. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have given up." Hearing his wife's self-blaming words, Shi's father immediately interrupted and looked at his wife with some grievance. "Do you regret marrying me?" Shi's mother rolled her eyes and said, "Of course not. If I regretted it, I would have divorced you if something happened to you back then. Then I don't regret it." Shi's father said firmly. "You." Mother Shi opened her mouth. Her eyes and face turned red. "You are so dishonest." "Ahem, what is serious in front of my wife?" Father Shi picked up his laptop, casually found a good angle and took pictures, then casually selected the best photo, and casually took a close-up of the sunflowers and roses. Then he continued to casually send them to his social platform. "This is planted by my youngest daughter. It's very beautiful. It's better than her father's." Picture, 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 picture. When Shi's mother saw her husband's actions, she smiled and shook her head. "You are as childish as a child." After so many years, she also understood her husband. Although he was kicked out of the Shi family and had always been upset, and although he later made some achievements in the army and became the supreme commander of the 9th Corps, he could never let go of the Shi family. She tried to persuade him many times, but this man refused to give in for the sake of his own face. Later, when her husband got into trouble, the Shi family contacted her first. After resolving the issues left behind by her husband, she used her connections to bring her husband, who was originally stranded in the M galaxy, back to the capital planet. In the capital star, there is the most authoritative medical team, the safest sanatorium, and the best treatment. All this made her, who was originally not accepted by the Shi family, eliminate her resistance to the Shi family. It turned out that the Shi family had been paying attention to them for so many years, especially the mistress of the Shi family. After her husband got into trouble, she opened her heart to her and told her that she regretted her decision. Now that her husband has woken up, she also hopes that he can return to his master's house, reunite with his family, and resolve the grudges in his heart. When Mr. Shi heard what his wife said, his face turned red. "Humph, I'm already 80 years old this year. How can I be childish? I just want everyone to see that although Master Shi left the Botanical Research Institute, he now has a successor. Besides, my daughter is more talented than me." Shi's father said proudly. Okay, whatever you say makes sense." The two continued to admire the flowers in the yard while chatting, completely unaware of how big a sensation the photos they had just posted had caused. Shi Maguang was the first one to see what his younger brother posted. He always put his family's social media accounts at the top of his list and would alert him whenever there was any news. However, just now, he received a message from his younger brother on a social media platform. He immediately thought he had seen it wrong. How could his younger brother, who had been in a coma for 5 years, use his account to post a message, unless... Shi Guang clicked it with fear in his heart. He saw the photos of his younger brother and sister-in-law at a glance. In an instant, Shi Guang's eyes became red and wet. 5 years later, finally, this kid woke up. I was happy for a long time, looking at my brother's photos over and over again, and only looked at other photos after I calmed down. This was incredible. At a glance, you could tell that each of the plants in the photos his brother had posted were of high quality, especially the roses and sunflowers, which were simply perfect. Where did this kid get so many top-quality green plants? He didn't even tell me. Shi Guang exited the photo gallery and saw what his brother had posted. Youngest daughter? Anxin? Shi Guang frowned. He had just received the news 2 days ago that his niece had been in a training camp for the entire summer. Moreover, this child had always aimed to be admitted to the 9th Legion. How could she possibly grow these plants? I have to ask. Shi Guang couldn't wait to know what was going on with these green plants. Drop. Before Shi Guang opened his sister-in-law's communication, he received a call from his mother who was traveling around the world. Mamu Guang, have you seen the message your brother sent? Is he awake? Is this true? Go and ask him if he is really awake. Also, the 4th picture your brother sent is the 2nd row from the top on the right, the 3rd rows from the left. I like it very much. Can you please? Shi Guang. Mom, do you want me to ask if Xinguang is awake, or do you want the rose? The elegant and beautiful woman with white hair on the other side of the video paused and raised her head proudly. First ask the boy if he is awake, and then tell him that if he wants to apologize to me as his mother, I will give him roses in exchange. Shi Guang looked at his stubborn mother with a frown on his face. Didn't you tell your sister-in-law that you regretted your previous decision? Didn't you also say that after Xinguang wakes up, you would apologize to him and ask him to come back? Didn't you? Bang. Before his eldest son could finish speaking, Gao Jinxiao immediately hung up the phone. You little rascal, if I could save face, would I still need you now? Gao Jinxiao was furious, but when she thought of her youngest son, her face became conflicted. Anyway, I want roses, and I want them at twice the price of an S rank. After receiving this message from his mother, Shi Guang was speechless and helpless. Having 2 mothers and brothers who are hard-mouthed but soft-hearted, and who are stubborn and unwilling to bow their heads first, is his calamity. Retracting his thoughts, Shi Guang immediately contacted his sister-in-law. Don't ask why he didn't contact his brother. It's because he knows this brother too well. He has a cocky personality, and no one can contact him at this moment. Sure enough, Shi Xinguang's former colleagues in the Botanical Research Institute, now various botanical masters, were all shocked after seeing the photos sent by Shi Xinguang. In fact, the plants in the photo were growing so well that they immediately contacted Shi Xinguang, wanting to go and see them, but they couldn't get in touch. The news that Shi Xinguang had woken up in the photo he sent also spread among the major legions of the Federation. Everyone was shocked, and after the shock came excitement. There is no one who is not afraid of mental collapse. The people at home who were in the nursing home were even more excited when they learned that Shi Xinguang, who had been in a coma for 5 years, had woken up. They all tried to find connections and channels to find out what medicine Shi Xinguang had used, how he woke up, and what his mental strength was like now. At the same time, the top officials of the Empire also received the news. For a time, the Federation and the Empire secretly began to investigate whether the little daughter mentioned by Shi Xinguang and the green plants in his photos were real, and how he woke up. Capital Star Sanatorium General, how do you feel? Is it working? In the VIP ward, an elderly man, thin but sharp-minded, was lying on the hospital bed with a relaxed look on his face. I didn't expect that this green plant could also heal the spirit. The old man said happily, go buy a pot of the same green plant and bring it back for me to try. Yes, General. The old man looked at the green plants on the table that were still full of vigor, and his heart was filled with excitement. It seems that things are going to change. Meanwhile, Anan, who was at school, didn't know that her father had already messed things up outside. All parties are investigating Shi Xinguang's youngest daughter, but Shi's mother had encrypted all of her daughter's information when she grew the plants. With the support of the Shi brothers, Outsiders cannot easily find out the existence of Shi Anxin. Are you awake? It's time for us to gather together. Shi Lele knocked on Shi Anxin's door. Wake up, wait a moment. Shi Anxin was putting things into her space button at this time. Okay, let's go. Shi Anxin opened the door, and Shi Lele immediately hugged Shi Anxin's arm. It's so strange. Why do I feel so comfortable when I hug you? After staying up all night last night, Shi Lele had a slight headache, but now that she was holding Shi Anxin, the headache went away. It was amazing. Shi Anxin. Here, this is a calming medicine bag I made myself. Carry it with you, and you will sleep well at night. Shi Anxin handed the medicine bag she made to Shi Lele. Every night, she knew that this little girl was simply an internet addict. She stayed up all night, surfing the internet, and even had dark circles under her eyes. If this goes on, her energy will be exhausted. Shi Lele took it with surprise. What a nice smell. Ah, it smells just like you. Shi Anxin smiled and nodded. Yes, I also carry this medicine bag with me. Don't worry, the materials inside are clean and safe. This was a medicine bag she prepared based on the medicinal materials in the Qingxin pill from the cultivation world. It has the effect of clearing the mind and improving eyesight, calming the nerves and soothing the soul, and is not harmful to the body. Although it's missing a few medicinal ingredients and its efficacy is slightly weaker, you'll have to make do with it. She just germinated the seeds last night and made it overnight. She has just sent a copy to each family member by express delivery. I haven't sent my sister's letter yet since we are in the same school, so I will just give it to her in person when we meet later. Shi Lele didn't expect that she would receive the first gift from her college friend and was very happy. Thank you, and I will wear it every day and never take it off. Shi Lele carefully put the medicine bag in his pocket and promised. Seeing Shi Lele cherishing it so much, Shi Anxin was also happy in her heart. When our military training is over, I will buy some silk and make a sachet for you. You can hang it around your neck or sew it on your clothes. Sachet? What is that? Shi Lele had never heard of it before and looked at Shi Anxin curiously. The two chatted as they walked. It's actually similar to perfume, but the sachet is carried with you, and the perfume only needs to be sprayed once. Humph. Two idiots. When Lin Miao came out of the dormitory, she saw the two people in front of her, and her face immediately became gloomy. She had asked someone to investigate and found out that Shi Anxin was from the Edge Star, and Shi Lele was from the Capital Star, but his family background was average. Humph. If these two girls dare to call her a psychopath, she will not let them go. They will have a hard time in the future. Shi Anxin was keenly aware of the malicious intent behind her, and she turned her head suddenly and saw Lin Miao staring at them viciously, and she immediately became alert. When Lin Miao saw and turned her head, she was startled. Then she glared at her fiercely and walked forward. Shi Anxin frowned and continued to walk towards the gathering place with Shi Lele. Lulu, be careful with Lin Miao. Don't be alone with her. Shi Anxin reminded Shi Lele in a low voice that Lin Miao's look just now was vicious and cruel, and it was obvious that he had no good intentions. Lin Miao? Who is that? Shi Lele asked doubtfully. She had already forgotten about yesterday's conflict. Puff Shi Anxin's heart was hanging in the air, but when Shi Lele asked her, her defense was instantly broken. It was Lin Miao who misunderstood us for no reason yesterday morning. Oh, her? TSK, she's a branch of the Lin family. She thinks she can turn from a beautiful girl into a phoenix just by passing the exam to the Capital Star? Humph. The Lin family doesn't even take her seriously. She thinks she's a daughter of the Lin family. She's so pretentious, it's disgusting. Then, Shi Lele told Shi Anxin about Lin Miao. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Lele in confusion. You know so much in just one night? Of course, I'm well informed. Shi Lele patted his chest proudly. You must always be on guard against others. Next time you see her, stay away from her to avoid trouble. Shi Anxin warned. I'm not afraid of her. Okay. I know you're not afraid of her. But when facing someone with bad intentions like this, you should be careful and cautious. It's not that you're afraid of her, but you have to be careful of being ambushed by her. Shi Lele nodded after hearing this. Okay, I'll be careful and don't be afraid. If she dares to provoke us, I'll tell my dad and let him deal with her. And my brother. My brother is very powerful. If anyone bullies me, I will tell him. When Shi Anxin listened to Shi bragging about how great her brother was, she also thought of her brother and sister, so she was also protected by someone. She should change her cautious and careful character in her previous life. No brainer. No brainer. No brainer. Please don't use your brain when watching this movie. This is a light-hearted article, without any open or covert fighting or intrigue. Readers who don't like it, please leave in a civilized manner. Friendly reminder from the author. Novels are fictional. Please treat them as a decompression tool in the real world, a food-eating tool. Do whatever you need to do after reading, study, do homework, work hard, and take care of your kids. Put your kids in good care before reading summary. Please use civilized language. Please leave immediately if you don't like it. And please use civilized language if you have suggestions. Don't curse, it's annoying. The author wants to keep a happy mood while writing and doesn't want to get hyperplastic nodules. The Capital Star First University holds this event every year. On the first day of school, freshmen will go to the military training base for a month of military training. The performance and final results of freshmen during military training will be recorded in the students' personal files, which will also be used as a reference when the students are hired by major corps or units when they graduate. Along the way, Shi Anxin saw students wearing the same military training uniforms of different colors running in the same direction. Everyone had a smile on their face and was discussing military training with their companions. I wonder where we will go for the military training this year. Shi looked worried. She asked her father last night, but her father kept his mouth shut and didn't tell her anything. Now that we are here, we should make the best of it. It's the same everywhere. Shi Anxin didn't understand. Although her sister had sent her some information about things to pay attention to during military training last night, she thought that military training was better than going to the Nether Forest for training like the disciples in the cultivation world. She didn't have to worry about whether she would be alive in the next second. Arrive. The two walked to the military training assembly area, an open space of nearly 100 acres, half of which was now occupied by a huge starship. Seeing the huge and mysterious starship again, Shi Anxin couldn't help but marvel at the fact that humans in this era were so smart that they could actually research such a powerful object. Ding! Shi Anxin called. Shi Anxin looked around, looking for the team wearing red military training uniforms, and clicked on the call. Anon, have you arrived at the meeting point? Here I am. I found you. I'll be there soon. Shi Anxin hung up the call before she told anyone her location. Anon, wait here for me. I saw my friend. I'll go say hecko and come back soon. Okay, go ahead. Shi said something to Shi Anxin and immediately ran towards his friend. Shi Anxin looked at Shi standing in front of a boy in a purple military training uniform, laughing and playing with him. It seemed that the two had a good relationship. Anon. When Shi Anxin heard Shi Anxin's voice, she turned around and saw Shi Anxin and Lin Jima walking towards them quickly in red military training uniforms. I said that people from the plant department are easier to find. They are wearing green clothes, and there are only a few of them. It's easy, Lin Jima said with his arms folded. Shi Anxin looked around and found that, indeed, there were only 30 new students enrolling in their department of botany this year. Yesterday, I heard that more than 50 people were transferred because they were not accepted into the Department of Plants due to their poor performance in the Philosophies Suchuenensis or other problems. The school could not allow these students to return to their original positions, so they were transferred to the majors of cooking or logistics information. Elder sister. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Anxin with envy. Wearing this red military training uniform, Shi Anxin looked like a sharp sword. He exuded a sharp aura all over his body, which made people afraid. How is it? Are you used to living here last night? Shi Anxin's cold face immediately warmed up after seeing Shi Anxin. In front of Shi Anxin, she hid her edge. TSK. Lin Jima on the side had already gotten used to it, but still felt a little annoyed. It's a habit. Don't worry. My roommate is also very nice. She's a very cute girl and easy to get along with. Afraid that Shi Anxin would worry, Shi Anxin told her about her situation and then took out the medicine bag. Glancing at Lin Jima, who looked jealous, Shi Anxin thought for a moment and took out another one. Here, take this medicine bag with you, one for each of you. I'll give you new ones in 3 months. The medicine bag was handed to Shi Anxin, who took it happily. As soon as she picked it up, she smelled a soothing fragrance and was very happy. Thank you, Anan. Lin Jinma snatched his own medicine bag from Shi Anxin's hand. As soon as he got it, he knew that this medicine bag was special. The fatigue caused by not sleeping well last night, due to not being familiar with the bed, was instantly eliminated. Thanks. When we form a team for military training, I'll take you flying. Lin Jinma raised his eyebrows at Shi Anxin in a good mood. Shi Anxin. Haha, you're welcome. Hey, be nicer. Shi Anxin kicked Lin Jinma. I'm back, this is... Shi Lele saw Shi Anxin and Lin Jinma from a distance. She knew them both. She said goodbye to her friends with a little nervousness and ran back immediately, fearing that something might have happened to an Shi Anxin was afraid of the nervous Shi Lele and said, "This is my sister, and this is my sister's friend." Shi Lele? Sister, this is my roommate. Shi Lele. She is very cute. Shi Anxin introduced Shi Lele to her sister. Shi Anxin looked at Shi Lele with a smile. Heko, I'm glad you can be my sister's roommate. I hope you two can become very good friends in the future. Mayanin doesn't understand a lot. I hope you can help her when I'm not around. Shi Anxin's face turned red with anger at her sister's words that sounded like she was entrusting her with the care of her child. Lin Jinma and Shi Lele were petrified. They had never known that Shi Anxin could be so gentle and say so many disgusting words. Okay. Your sister is already 18 years old. Can you please stop treating her like a 3-year-old child? It's enough that you worry about me. Lin Jinma was very jealous and pulled Shi Anxin towards the mecha department. Assemble. I see the instructor is coming. Hurry up or you'll be late. Hey, I haven't said goodbye to Anin yet. Shi Anxin was at a loss for a moment and was forcibly dragged away by Lin Jinma. What's there to say goodbye to? We're on a starship on a planet, in a military training base. What's there to say goodbye to? Sister, see you later. Shi Anxin quickly waved her hand to signal Shi Anxin to return to her team first. Good. Watching the two people walking away, Shi Lele turned her head stiffly. Is Shi Anxin really your sister? How come she didn't know that Shi Anxin had a sister? But Shi Anxin, the names are similar. What's going on? Shi Anxin looked at Shi Lele, who was full of doubt. Do you know my sister? How can I not recognize her? We went to the same high school. I've heard of her, but she seemed a little different from the one I knew just now. Shi Lele scratched his head. Feeling guilty, he didn't dare to look at Anan, and silently repeated his father's advice in his heart. Shi Anxin raised her eyebrows. This expression didn't look like heard of it at all, but she didn't continue asking. She thought that when Shi Lele wanted to say it, he would say it naturally. Schoolgirls, gather together. Shi Lele wanted to continue asking about the situation of this sister when suddenly, Su Zihu's voice came from the front. Shi Anxin and the other student quickly ran towards the direction of the class teacher, where several classmates who were also wearing green military training uniforms were already standing. There are many majors in Capital Star First University, and its unique feature is that students of each major must wear uniforms corresponding to the color of the major so that they can be easily distinguished by teachers and classmates in school. Just like the students of the Department of Plants are green, the students of the Department of Mecha are red, the students of the Department of Command are blue, and the students of the Department of Artillery are yellow. Because my baby is only 1 year and 4 months old, I am either riding or coaxing him. I try to write as much as possible every day in case something happens and I can't write. Some people have no manners at all. They arrived so early but didn't hurry to gather. Instead, they stood there and chatted with students from other departments. They had no sense of unity at all. As soon as Shi Anxin and her friend arrived at the class gathering place, they heard Lin Miao making sarcastic remarks beside them, which instantly attracted the attention of the students around them. You. Shi Lele exploded instantly and was ready to quarrel. Shi Anxin grabbed Shi Lele and looked at Su Zihu with a smile. Senior, I'm sorry, we are late. Su Zihu glanced at the arrogant Lin Miao, frowned, turned to look at Shi Anxin, and smiled. No, there are still 10 minutes before the appointed time. No need to apologize, there are still students who haven't arrived yet. As soon as these words came out, Lin Miao's face immediately turned ugly. Senior, what you said is a bit unfair. Su Zihu asked coldly, then what do you think is justice? When it's not time to assemble yet, you let me punish my classmates for no reason. Is this justice? If I remember correctly, you just went to the command department, right? Then you ran to the reconnaissance department, and you only stood here half a minute earlier than them. Su Zihu glanced at the other students and said, "It's not just you. It's the same for everyone else. Look, everyone is greeting people they know." As he said that, he raised his head and motioned for everyone to look back. Everyone looked back, looked around, and then turned to look at Lin Miao again. "Classmate, are you sick?" Saying hecko to your friends shows disunity. If you have the ability, don't run away to other departments. A boy couldn't help but sneered. That's right. He runs around like a butterfly, and now he has the nerve to criticize others. He has nothing to do. A girl has been fed up with it for a long time. For a while, Lin Miao was attacked by other people from the plant department in turn. Seeing that it was almost done, Su Zihu interrupted. "Okay, everyone, be quiet. Student Lin, your awareness of unity and friendship is very good. But in the future, you should pay attention to what is true unity and love. In the next few years, we are all classmates. We must respect each other, tolerate each other, and trust each other. In the future, when you leave the campus and work in different places, you can still help each other if there is any situation. I hope that students in our department of botany will be honest with each other and unite to make progress together." Good. The boys from the botany department applauded and cheered. The girls also looked at the class teacher with enthusiasm. Shi Lei clapped very vigorously, and from time to time she glared at Lin Miao, who had a face full of shame and anger. Shi Anxin looked at Su Zihu and nodded gently, with gratitude in her eyes. Su Zihu smiled back, feeling happy that he could repay his gratitude today. Apart from Lin Miao, the atmosphere in the botany department was very harmonious. Everyone knew each other, and new students also joined in. Lin Miao clenched her hands tightly, cursing in her heart. No one present could escape her curse. She secretly swore in her heart that they would have a hard time in the future. And Su Zihu, when she gained a foothold in the Lin family, the first one she would deal with would be him. And then, look at that Lin Miao. He's so angry, like a balloon. Ha ha ha. Shi Lei was in a very good mood. Shi Anxin glanced at Lin Miao, who had a gloomy face, and said, "This feud has been established." Huh, what grudge? Shi Lei didn't understand. Shi Anxin retracted her gaze and warned Shi Lei, "Stay away from Lin Miao in the future. She is like a snake in the cracks of the rocks, eager to bite people." Shi Lei understood what was said and nodded. "I know. I can see that this branch of the Lin family has a bad heart and will bear grudges after a conflict. Humph, don't provoke me in the future, or she will be in trouble. And then, you should be careful too." "Yeah, okay." After all the freshmen have gathered, the counselors or teachers of each class will remind them of the precautions and safety issues during the military training. So, remember, as students of the Department of Botany, don't worry about your grades. During the military training, it is most important to protect yourself. Do you understand? Got it. Saving your life is the most important thing. The boys from the botany department shouted loudly. For a moment, students from other departments cast contemptuous glances at them, but after seeing the clothes of the Department of Botany, they immediately retracted their gazes. What a joke. Students from the Department of Botany, they are the most popular in the school. Don't dare to mess with them. Don't dare to mess with them. Then, on the other side, a department also shouted, "Protect your life and survive to the end." Everyone turned to look. Wow, it's the chef. Wow, this guy. We can't mess with him. Next time when we go to a restaurant to eat, what if the person we don't have a good relationship with happens to be the chef? Wow, we might even taste the other person's saliva during the meal. The students from the Department of Botany and the Department of Culinary Arts looked at each other, their eyes full of admiration for each other. "I saw my sister. Don't worry, I will definitely protect my sister. Are you envious of me for being able to accompany my sister in military training?" Ha ha ha. On the starship, Lin she saw Shi Anxin in a small green military training uniform through the window and proudly sent a message to his friends. "Luckily, I'm not needed for this mission, so I got the chance to lead the students in military training." Ha 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 ha. "I heard this morning that you received a medicine bag from our sister. I'll ask my sister for one later." When Anfeng was on his way to the mission site, he received a bunch of messages from Lin Shi. He frowned and put him on the blacklist. Lin Shi continued to send messages, but found that he couldn't send them out, so he laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, I really PP'd you off. Humph, I told you to take the mint that Anin gave me. I'll PP you off next time. Thinking of the pot of mint that was taken away by Shi Anxin, Lin Shi's heart immediately ached. Adjutant Lin, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling unwell? Shimi, who was standing by, had been paying attention to Lin Shi. Since they got on the starship, Adjutant Lin had been sending messages to someone. Who was he sending messages to? Was it a man or a woman? Shimi looked at Lin Shi with concern and reached out to climb onto Lin Shi's arm. I'm fine. Lin Shi put away his thoughts, took a step back indifferently, and kept a distance from Shimi. Thank you for your concern, Adjutant Shimi. You continue watching. I'll go find Chief Officer He. With that, he quickly left. Shimi looked annoyed. She should have acted quickly so that she could have touched Adjutant Lin. Adjutant Lin is so blessed with good looks, ha ha ha. Hirue, who had seen the whole scene at the door, said with a mocking look on his face. Lin Shi's face darkened and he said stiffly, You want to send it to you? Hirue quickly waved his hands. I don't want it. I don't deserve it. What a joke. He can't subdue this female zero. Keep your people well. If she feels idle, give her more work. Lin Shi walked to the command room and proposed to Hirue. Hirue followed Lin Shi with a funny look on his face. How about you give this position of chief instructor to you? Why didn't you take the position of chief instructor in the first place? I was originally planning to go home on vacation, but our leader threw it here. Speaking of this, Hirue looked aggrieved. He finally got a vacation and could go home to hug his wife, but he was assigned to lead the military training of freshmen. Who could be more miserable than him? Lin Shi looked at Hirue sympathetically and patted his shoulder comfortingly. Do you think you can escape if I become the chief instructor? Hirue thought about it, and his heart was beeping. Yes, with the character of their leader, he is either the chief instructor or the deputy instructor. He can't run away anyway. It's just that he has finished his mission and has nothing to do. Alas, the military training in various universities every year is not a hardship for the students, but a hardship for us instructors. Hirue felt a little comforted when he thought that his good brothers who did not complete the mission were also arranged to serve as instructors in other schools. I just hope that this class of freshmen can have less trouble and not cause me any trouble. No emergencies should happen during the military training. Hirue prayed. Lin Shi glanced at Hirue and said, Shut up, I want to take it easy. Hirue immediately shut up and scratched his head in embarrassment. Then he moved to Lin Shi's side and said, Brother Lin, you will be so tired during the military training. I am a rough guy and a mecha soldier. I am not good at commanding. You can take charge and give me ideas, and I will execute them. TSK, Lin Shi was speechless. No, why did your boss give you the task of being the chief instructor? Do you two have a grudge against each other? Hirue said with a smile. No grudge, no grudge. I won this by drawing lots because of my stinky hands, and our leader knew you were here, so he let me come without any worries. Lin Shi. At this time, he had a reasonable suspicion that he seemed to be plotted against by Shi Anxin and an the uncle and nephew. Asshole. Lin Shi cursed his friend. This guy was too cunning. He had a reasonable suspicion that this guy had been plotting against him from the beginning to let him come so that he could take care of his two sisters. When Anfeng had already reached the edge star, his nose felt itchy. Thinking of his blocked friend, he touched his nose embarrassedly. He decided to return the mint to him when he returned. Here, all the students have gathered and are boarding the starship one after another, ready to set off. The teachers and class teachers watched them from behind, and when the starship took off, everyone prayed, hoping that everything would go well and that they would return safely. It's no wonder that everyone is worried. Every year there are students who cannot return from military training because there are too many emergencies, and the training in military training is real fighting. As soon as Shi Anxin and the others boarded the starship, they were assigned to the plant department area and were told not to run around, but to stay on the starship and wait to reach their destination. Everyone was very excited. They didn't want to rest in the room, so they gathered in the hall and sat together to chat, except Lin Miao. Where do you think we will go for military training this time? I remember that we had military training on F-123 Star last time. Ding Hui, the boy who had first refuted Lin Miao, spoke first. I know. I heard that 11 students did not return after the last military training. Are you in danger? It seems so, but the school didn't elaborate. Don't make a fuss. It's not just the last time. There have been accidents during military training every year, so we must be careful and be alert at all times. Okay, hey, now that you guys mention that, I'm scared. I'm not in good physical condition to begin with. Ahem, who in our department of botany has good physical fitness? If I had good physical fitness, I would apply for the department of command. The student who spoke muttered softly. Hearing this, everyone fell silent. Sure, Lele was unhappy. Who said that? My physical fitness is A+. I applied for the department of botany because I like plants. Besides, you don't have to apply for the department of botany if you have poor physical fitness. You must be interested in plants, just like the chef's department. Some people apply specifically because they like to cook. When the others heard this, they immediately perked up. Yes, I raised a green ivy when I was a kid. It was really good and lush. My mom said I was very talented, so I applied for the botany department. Me too. I like green plants. I hope that every planet can be covered with green plants so that birds can have a habitat. Not only birds, but also animals and humans like green plants and forests, yes. And green plants are too precious nowadays. They are not easy to keep alive. My family bought a pot of spider plant for 300,000 yuan last time, but it only lived for a week. My parents must have felt so sad. Who said it wasn't true? My mother even bought a lot of plant nutrients to save him, but it didn't work. Don't talk about that. Before school started, my family went to a restaurant for dinner. That plate of vegetables cost 20,000 coins. It wasn't even enough for each of my family to have a bite. It was so expensive. Yeah, we're not full after the whole meal, so we might as well drink a bottle of high-quality nutrient solution each. Hey, speaking of nutrient solution, have you bought the new super strawberry-flavored nutrient solution? Is it better than the previous ones? Shi Anxin sat in the corner with great interest, listening to everyone chatting. From the chat, she learned a lot about the prices on the capital planet, some things on other planets, and some little gossip in the school. Shi Anxin felt that all she needed now was a handful of melon seeds. The two things she loved most in her life were making money and gossip. Only in this way can life be wonderful. By the way, do you know? Last night I heard from my uncle's wife's sister's husband's father's ex-daughter-in-law's younger brother that this year a student in our botany department has cultivated an S-grade tail grass. I heard that it is growing perfectly and the seeds have also reached S-grade. Ding Hui whispered to the people next to him to share his gossip. S-level. Oh my God. Who is it? Who is it? Is it true? The students who heard the news looked at the people around them, and the people around them waved their hands. I just passed the exam and was almost transferred to the logistics department. I almost passed as well. My friend didn't pass and was transferred to the culinary department. A girl said with a lucky look on her face. I'm fine. My tail grass has reached grade B. A boy was a little happy, but he was scared when he thought about the investment behind it. But I spent all my pocket money in the past 18 years on a lot of high-end nutrients, pesticides, and blackhead removers. Alas, Ling Shi felt sad when he thought about his empty pockets and the unequal treaty he signed to pay for his living expenses. When the other students heard this, their shoulders drooped instantly. Alas, everyone is like this. Alas, I also bought a lot of nutritional supplements, and half of my pocket money is gone. Shi Lele said with a bitter face beside Shi Anxin. Shi Anxin listened to her classmates' sad stories in silence, for she was afraid that if she told them that she didn't spend a penny, everyone would beat her head off.